So hey guys, welcome back to the Anime What Ifs channel. This is a story about what if Naruto has gamer ability. Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if, and you want to see part 2, comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. And check out my playlist. So let's start the video. Chapter 1, My Second Chance. Darkness. All around me was nothing but darkness. I couldn't see anything, hear anything, or even feel anything. It was like I was floating in a dark void. How long has it been? How did I even get here? Oh, right. Now I remember. Ring. The sound of a bell ringing throughout the school could be heard. That would be all. Class dismissed. Yes. Hoo-hoo. Finally. The sounds of a teacher eager to leave and reach home and students even more eager to enjoy their holidays came. Almost all the students chatted amongst each other in groups, excitedly discussing their plans to spend their vacation. Amidst all the students enthusiastically chatting, almost no one paid attention to the lone student quietly gathering his things and leaving the class. His name was Thomas Kane. He was the son of a wealthy industrialist. Shipped off to boarding school at a young age and with two older brothers who outshined in everything they did and deemed as prodigies by everyone, Thomas didn't have the motivation to excel in anything. Even though he was above average in IQ and could easily attain top marks in all subjects, his scores in studies were average due to his lack of motivation. During the first few months of boarding school, he tried to make friends. He managed to make a few, but after a short while he figured out they only became friends mostly due to the fact that he came from a wealthy family. He cut ties with them and then found the task of making friends tedious and tiresome. He was smart enough to not make himself a social outcast. He made neither friends nor enemies. He maintained an average score. He had an ordinary, everyday life. But there were two things in life he loved: chess and comics. He was very good at chess. Predicting his opponent's moves from the start and outsmarting them by a wide margin was one of his favorite ways to win the game. As he played more and more, he got really good at it. He also played poker with his brothers whenever they would come to visit. He couldn't beat them, but each time they played he learned a couple of his tells that would give him away. So with each game he got a little bit better at trying to control his emotions from showing on his face. He wanted to learn to make the perfect poker face. The second thing in life he loved was comics, manga and anime. He loved them. The stories they tell. The characters they portray. It brought him endless joy reading and watching their adventures. He was a hardcore fan. He spent his days in his apartment alone reading all kinds of comics and mangas he could get his hands on. He fell in love with them from a young age. He enjoyed reading about the different adventures and he often imagined what it would be like if he were in that world. He left the school and reached his apartment building after about a 15-minute walk. His apartment was situated on the 3rd floor. The apartment was a modest one, comfortable for a single person. He started climbing the stairs. And as he reached the 2nd floor, he suddenly began to feel dizzy. His hands suddenly grabbed onto the side rails to steady himself. He felt like the world was spinning around him. Wow! What the hell? After a few moments, the vertigo he was feeling slowly disappeared. Oh man! I must be more tired and hungry than I thought. He slowly started to walk and he reached his apartment doors. Hey Tommy! Thomas heard the voice of his neighbor. He turned around and saw an old man with a white beard wearing round glasses and a deerstalker hat standing behind him. Hey, Mr. Mark. How are you doing? Fine, kid. Was just gonna go out for groceries. Oh, and I got a package delivered with your name. Thomas's eyes widened excitedly. It's finally here. Yeah. It's something I ordered from overseas. It's a new comic book series that's recently released. I can't wait to read it. His eager anticipation could be heard in his voice. You really love those books, don't you? Old man Mark said with a good-humored voice. Hold on, I'll get them for you. The old man turned around and walked back to his apartment, and Thomas took out his keys and opened the doors to his home. The old man came back holding a brown package box. Thomas was about to grab the package box when the vertigo he was feeling earlier came back. The feeling was more intense this time. As Thomas was falling down and blacking out, the last thing he heard was the scared shouts of Old Man Mark. When Thomas regained consciousness and opened his eyes, he realized he was in a hospital room. He saw the hospital gown he was wearing and he could smell the antiseptics lingering in the air. He tilted his head to the side and saw old man Mark sitting beside him in a chair, slowly nodding off. Mr. Mark? Thomas's voice woke up the old man with a startle, and he looked at the boy lying on the bed. Oh my God! Tommy, you woke up. Hold on, I'll get the doctor. He rushed outside to find the doctor. He returned shortly afterward, and behind him came a man in his late 40s wearing a doctor's coat. Hello, Thomas. I'm Dr. Phillips. The man introduced himself. Thomas nodded to him. You were brought in unconscious, and we did a workup of your blood and did an MRI, and it isn't good. Son, you have stage 3 brain cancer, and it's progressing quickly. We need to start treatment right away. Thomas couldn't hear anything else. His whole body went numb. He felt as if his whole world was breaking apart. How bad is it? He asked with a low voice. It's really serious. Even with treatment, I am afraid you won't have much time, the doctor replied with a serious tone. Seeing the distraught look on the boy, the doctor decided to give him some time to digest the news. I'll give you two some time. I'll be in my office if you need me, said the doctor, and he left the room. Tommy, I called your parents. They're flying over. They'll be here tomorrow. You're gonna get through this, old man Mark said, holding Tommy's hand. I don't. Thomas didn't know what to say or even think. He felt like he was suffocating. All he could hear was the heart that was pounding in his chest. I need some air, he said while slowly getting up. Tommy. Mr. Mark. I need a moment. I'd like some time alone now. Please. Old man Mark looked at him with concern and then nodded. I'll wait outside. He slowly left the room. Thomas went to a window and looked outside. It was nighttime. And yet the outside was still buzzing with activity. Tears slowly fell down from his eyes. But he didn't make a single sound. He spent the next few minutes just standing there and looking outside with tears running down his face. He then slowly looked at himself, and then around the room. He saw his school uniform folded on a nearby table. Screw this. I'm not staying here. He felt angry and ripped off the gown he was wearing. I gotta get out of here. He quickly put on his school uniform and left the room. When Mark saw him leaving in his uniform, he was bewildered. Tommy, where are you going? He asked. Out for a walk. That was the only reply he got. Mark got up from his chair. It's too dangerous. You need to stay here. Thomas didn't reply and took off running. He reached the entrance of the hospital and quickly left the place. He didn't know where he was running to. After a few minutes, he reached what looked like a park. He slowed down and came near a bench. Thomas sat down and felt his whole body quivering. Since it was nighttime, there wasn't anybody around. He started whimpering and cried again. This time small sobs started coming out. Thomas sat there crying for some time. He was in denial, but it soon turned to anger. Damn it, damn it, damn it. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Damn it, Thomas! Get a grip! Don't let this be your end, he shouted to himself. He quieted down soon after and slowly calmed himself. He was startled when he felt water drops slowly falling on his face. He realized it was starting to rain. Just as he was about to get up from his bench, he saw a shadow moving in between the two trees in front of him. In any other circumstances he wouldn't have cared, but this time, curiosity got the better of him and he started walking slowly towards the two trees. He looked down and saw a fat black cat with golden eyes. Thomas felt as if the eyes of the cat were shining in the dark night. Strong winds started blowing and the rain was getting heavier and heavier by the second. It was as if a giant storm had engulfed the city. Both the boy and cat were staring at each other as the rain continued to pour down on them. Thomas didn't know why or for what reason, but he decided to pick up the black cat and go home. He didn't know why, but when he looked into its eyes he felt as if he was being judged by something far more intelligent than him. He went near the chubby black cat and gently picked it up and slowly started walking and went to the nearest street to call a cab. As he was standing there by the side of the road, soaked in the heavy rain, he suddenly heard a small explosion. He looked and saw scraps of a tire flying everywhere and a car out of control speeding toward him. Oh no! His eyes widened, and before he could even move to get out of the way, the car was right in front of him. The cat in his arms jumped away right before the car sent him flying. He flew back a good 10 feet in the air before touching the pavement. He tumbled a few times on the ground and came to a stop. He could feel the blood flowing out of him and his consciousness slowly fading away. The last thing he saw was the black cat coming towards him and touching his hand with its paw and its golden eyes peering into his own. Am I alive or dead? What is this place? How long have I been here? Then I heard a voice in my head. You have obtained the right to become a player. Do you agree? Become a player? Accept? What's happening to me? What does it matter? I'll be dead soon anyway. Your time remaining is limited. Should you refuse, your heart will stop in 3 seconds. Do you agree? Whether or not this was a hallucination, Thomas was certain of one thing: his impending death. 2 seconds. At this point, Thomas gave himself up to resignation. He wanted to live. To have a second chance at the life that was taken from him. 1 second. I want to live. I accept. He couldn't move his lips and utter those words, but he screamed them in his mind. And then a voice answered. Welcome, player. Suddenly something started to change. Wait a minute. What's this feeling? It's as if I'm in a dream and trying desperately to open my eyes. Come on, wake up. Damn it, wake up. Suddenly my eyes opened in a snap. The first thing I saw was a blue box floating in front of me. You have slept in a bed. HP, CP and SP have been fully restored. What the FCK? I looked around in a daze and found that I was lying on a bed in a room that was definitely not mine. When I saw a window at the end of the room, I stood up from my bed and went to look. The view that greeted me was something I couldn't prepare for. Four majestic faces adorned the mountain with the sun slowly rising from behind. I quickly realized that what I was looking at was in fact the Hokage mountain. I did a double take and then... What the FCK? That was my first reaction after realizing that I was in the Naruto universe. Chapter 2, Waking Up as Daichi Hekima. Thomas POV. This can't be real. I have to be dreaming or something. As I looked at the Hokage mountain and then to the rest of the Leaf Village, I could hear my breathing quicken. My heart started pounding in my chest. My hands trembling from the realization that I had somehow been reborn into a fictional world. A world filled with dangers as well as opportunities. What the hell? Why, how, who? Taking a deep breath, I tried to calm myself. Okay. Calm down, Thomas. No need to panic. And then I remembered all the threats that would plague the world. Orochimaru, Akatsuki, Madara, Zetsu, Kaguya and beyond. Okay. Small reason to panic. As I was standing there near the window freaking out, a calmness suddenly washed over me. I felt as if everything would be alright. Wow. What was that? I brought my hand to my chest and felt my beating heart. The heart that was rapidly beating earlier was now in a calm state. Okay man, pull yourself together. Think this through. What's the last thing you remember? I asked myself. I went through my memories searching for answers. I remember now. Old man Mark. Hospital. My incurable disease. The park. The cat and then the car that rammed into me. As the memories of my death flashed in my mind, I couldn't help becoming a little sad. Okay, if I was in an accident, shouldn't I be in the hospital right now? Or am I hallucinating and I'm really in a coma and this is my brain's way of helping me cope? Okay, think. What else happened? Then the memories of the black void rushed to the forefront of my mind. I sucked in a deep cold breath of air as I recalled the moments I spent in the darkness, and of the voice that spoke to me. I remember someone saying I was selected. And to accept. What was the last thing they said? Then I suddenly recalled the last words spoken by that mysterious voice. Welcome, player. Those words quietly left my lips. I suddenly looked towards the bed and then remembered the blue box notification that was in front of me. It had disappeared, but I could clearly recall what was written inside the box. You have slept in a bed. HP, CP and SP have been fully restored. I quietly said to myself. That's definitely what I saw. I've only seen that happen to one person. And that too in a comic. The gamer. Wait a minute, if that notification appeared in front of me, does that make me a gamer? That can't be. It's impossible. I suddenly stopped and looked outside. I saw the village that woke up and the increasingly bustling street. And then I looked to the Hokage mountain. My eyes carefully observed every inch of the four faces. I put my hands on the windowsill and felt the texture of the worn-out wood against my skin. Then I pinched my cheeks with both hands. OW. I definitely feel pain. Feels all too real. I recalled everything that happened to me a second time. After letting out a deep breath, I came to a conclusion. This is either a hallucination and I'm in a coma, or this is my second chance. All the evidence points me to the latter, and I want to believe it as such. Then the calmness that washed over me earlier must be the ability gamer's mind. The skill to keep calm in all situations. Then is it possible that I have the gamer's body as well? Need to confirm later. After coming to the realization that this was most probably my second chance, a smile slowly bloomed on my face. In the Naruto world with a gamer ability, huh? This will definitely be interesting. But what should be my goal? As I pondered on this question, an image of Naruto and Sasuke fighting in the final valley at their strongest appeared. It excited me to know that someone with the right tools could become that strong in this world. But at the same time, I also remembered the dangers and threats hiding in the shadows. Both threats from inside the village and outside. My first and most important priority is to survive this kill or be killed world. If anyone finds out about my origin or memories or my gamer's body, then I'll end up in prison, dead or worse. On an experiment table. Definitely can't let that happen. Alright. I need information first. Then training and increasing my strength. When I'm ready, I'll stand at the top of this era. And make the whole world know my name. That's gonna be another of my goals. And I definitely have the best tool with me. I'm gonna give it my all and reach the top. Sorry Naruto, Sasuke. But I'll be taking the spot of the world's strongest from you guys. I was excited and was going to open the gamer status page, but before I could, I heard a voice and several knocks on the door to my room. Daichi, are you awake in there? Since I'm the only one in the room, then that means Daichi must be my name in this world. Yes, I'm awake. I quickly answered. The door opened and a brown-haired boy in his late teens came to a stop in front of me. He had a round face, slim build and light brown eyes, and was wearing a smile on his face. Have you only gotten up just now? You haven't even changed. Don't you know how special today is? He asked me in a teasing voice. Suddenly, without warning, a blue box appeared in front of me. I was taken aback and dumbly said, "What? Is there something special about today? Damn it. I have no idea what's going on. I just got here." Although I was keeping a relatively calm face, I was slightly panicking on the inside. Having just gotten the observer skill, I decided the teen in front of me would be my first target. Observe. Putting a bewildered look on my face, which wasn't that difficult considering the whole situation, I replied. No. He could clearly see the confusion that was evident on my face. Don't tell me you forgot your own birthday. Or are you just playing with me? He asked me with a mock suspicious look on his face. Come on. You need to get ready. The head matron wants to see you. I think she has a surprise for you, he said with a smirk. I was startled by the quest box that appeared, but quickly got a hold of myself and read through the contents. After reading it thoroughly, I accepted the quest immediately. Putting a smile on my face, I replied, "Yeah. I'll be ready in a few minutes. Tell her I'll be down shortly." "All right. Be quick." He turned around and started walking. "Oh, and by the way, happy birthday, Daichi." That was the last thing he said before closing the door. The moment the door closed, the smile left my face. Oh man! That was close. Who am I? Where am I? I need info on who I am and what year of the timeline I'm in. Just as I was fretting over these questions, a system message appeared in a blue box. New memories came to the forefront of my mind. These must be the memories of this body before I inhabited it. No, based on what I understand from the system message, my soul is the same as that of my previous life, and the memories of that life were just temporarily sealed. I'm the same person as before. Or at least my soul is. Well, it's a good thing to know I'm not some soul parasite that just took over an innocent kid's body. So my name's Daichi Hekima. I am now 5 years old. My parents died in the Nine Tails attack. That's a bummer. Currently living in an orphanage. And today is my birthday, March 28th. And the kid who just came was called Jozu, a genin who helps out here. And the matron is a woman in her late 50s named Aiko. Okay, guess that's the when and where, and I've already deduced the how. Guess that will have to do for now. Better get ready and get down there before the timer runs out. Having the gamer's mind definitely comes in handy. Otherwise, I'd be freaking out right now. As I freshened up and was getting out of my sleepwear, my mind pondered on why the matron would call me so early in the morning today. Whatever it is, I have to be ready, I thought to myself. Putting on some fresh clothes, I stepped out of the room and headed for the office. As I went to the office, I experienced a sense of déjà vu. I was walking down the hall for the first time, but it felt as if I've walked them my whole life. A surreal experience. As I reached the door to the matron's office, I prepared myself for what's to come. Taking a deep breath and letting it out, I knocked on the door 3 times. "Come in." The old voice of the matron. My new memories told me. Opening the door, I entered the room and saw Matron Aiko sitting behind a desk with a calm and gentle face. I saw an old man sitting opposite to her with an equally calm but serious face looking me over. I walked a few steps, stopped, and looked around the room. It was a modest one with a shelf half filled with books and some scrolls and a few trinkets. I saw several photos of the kids and staff that were here at the orphanage. I stopped looking around and looked directly at Aiko. "You wanted to see me, Miss Aiko?" "Yes, little Daichi. I'm glad you came quickly. There is someone here I'd like you to meet. This is Kensei Yasagi. He's interested in adopting you." Hearing those words, I looked toward the man and scrutinized him. He had shaggy black hair, a small scar on his left cheek and another running vertically across his right eye. He had a strong build for someone his age, but I can see the cane he uses to walk. The most noticeable feature about him was his left leg. Or lack thereof. He uses a peg leg as a prosthesis to walk around. Chapter 3: New Beginnings. Normal POV. Suddenly several notification boxes appeared, startling Daichi. For the second time that day, Daichi was taken aback and dumbly said, "What?" I knew he'd be surprised, but I didn't think he'd be this surprised. Aiko thought to herself, looking at Daichi's shocked face. The old man Kensei Yasagi was looking at the boy, and a slight upward curl of his lips could be seen. Thanks to the gamer's mind skill, Daichi regained his calm face quickly and looked at the old man and then at the matron. He used the observe skill on the old man but didn't get any new information. Daichi quickly read through the description, and he felt he had a better understanding of the woman. "So Daichi, what do you say?" When he heard Miss Aiko's question, he looked back at the old man. I could see Miss Aiko's level and some info on her, but I don't have anything on the old man. That means he's definitely above level 47 and definitely a shinobi. But what kind of a man is he? Someone laid back or serious? Or is he someone ruthless and manipulative, and with less than kind intentions? The last one seemed less likely, since Aiko's allowing this guy to adopt me. Well, only one way to find out. What I'm about to do is stupid and has risks, but at least it'll give me an idea as to who I'm dealing with. All of these thoughts flashed through Daichi's mind in a couple of seconds. Steeling his heart, he made a choice. "You know, old man, with that peg leg, if you wear an eye patch you'd make a scary-looking pirate," he said with a smile on his face. "Let's see how this guy responds. Will he take my words as an insult or laugh it off? Or maybe either and stay expressionless?" He noticed Aiko's face sporting a shocked expression out of the corner of his eye. "Daichi, that was very rude. Apologize," she exclaimed. Daichi was still looking at the old man's face with a small smile. Suddenly the old man's face had a large grin, and he burst out laughing. "Ha! Boy, you're not the first person to tell me that. Even I think I'd make a decent pirate with my face. In fact, the ladies would definitely fall for my ruggedly handsome looks," he said in a merry tone. Aiko was taken aback, and then slowly a small smile bloomed on her face. For a moment I thought Kensei would be offended, but I'm happy to be proven wrong in this instance. "So kid, what do you say? Wanna come live with me?" Kensei asked me with a wide grin. "Sure," Daichi replied with an equally wide grin on his face. "Well, I am glad you two are happy. Daichi, why don't you go upstairs and grab your things? Kensei-san and I will be waiting here." "Okay." He nodded and left the room. "You were right. He's smart," Kensei said after Daichi left the room. "Yes. He's much more intelligent than the other kids here." Aiko agreed and added her thoughts. "Tell me something? This adoption. Is this just about Hotaru or is there something more?" She had a serious expression on her face as asked this question. Kensei looked at Aiko and had a smirk on his face. "Maybe I'm just a nice guy and want to give the kid a home." The matron slightly narrowed her eyes. "A nice guy? You and I both know that's not true. The only reason I agreed to this adoption is because we've known each other for over 2 decades. Now tell me. Why now? Why him?" The smile left Kensei's face, and he closed his eyes for a moment. The masked face of someone who rescued him during a mission long ago came to his mind. Let's just say that. I'm here to honor a promise. Daichi's POV. On my way up, a lot of thoughts crossed my mind. Even though Aiko posed the adoption choice as mine, I knew it really wasn't. If every orphan had that choice, I doubt many would get adopted. But the three main reasons why I decided to accept the offer so readily was because 1. I want some privacy. And I wouldn't have gotten it here in the orphanage. 2. This old man reminded me of my old neighbor. Kind and helpful. And I couldn't feel any ill intent coming from him. But I am just a child, and that guy is most likely an old shinobi veteran who probably has decades of experience hiding his emotions. So I wouldn't be able to tell even if he was a bad guy. But my gut feeling says that guy cares about me. Although Lord knows why. And the third and most important reason. 3. He's a shinobi who's definitely at least at a high level or more. My lack of info when I used to observe him proved that much. If I could learn from him during the time I spent in the academy, it would definitely boost my growth rate exponentially. Something that wouldn't happen if I stayed here. There are definitely cons to this as well. He could find out about my gamer body and its abnormalities and report it to the Hokage. He could be a retired root agent and looking to recruit new talents for Danzo's army. Or something else entirely. All risks I will have to take. But the pros definitely outweigh the cons. So this was a decision that wasn't hard to make. A new blue dialogue box appeared. Other than my hands and shoulders slightly twitching, I made no outward reaction. I was starting to get used to the notifications popping up in front of me without warning. An unexpected but not unwelcome surprise. So this also means I can increase my stat points by not just leveling up, huh? Alright. I've waited long enough. Time to check out my status page. Status, I quietly muttered. A new window appeared containing my information. Everything looks standard except for 2 stats. My intelligence is highest with wisdom coming in second. It must be due to my previous life. 17 years worth of maturity, and intelligence, and logical decision-making capabilities. I guess it's only natural that my intelligence and wisdom are higher than the rest. And what the heck are these locked special stats? No. Not right now. I'll do a more thorough research on my gamer's ability later in my own room at the old man's home. I thought to myself and closed the status page. I quickly reached my room and started packing the few belongings I had in a bag. It wasn't much. Just a few pairs of dresses and a few books. As I put what little I owned into the bag, my mind went to my previous life. Mom, Dad? What are they feeling right now? What a stupid question. I'm sure they're heartbroken right now. And my brothers Alex and Simon. I won't get to see any of them again. As the faces of my family came to my mind, tears welled up in my eyes, and before I went into a hysteria, the gamer's mind activated and calmed me down. I rubbed my eyes and took a few deep breaths and got my emotions under control. I can't wallow in sadness or self-pity. I have to move on. Mom, Dad, Alex, Simon, I won't forget you. But I'm going to move on. I have to. I'll make sure to live a good and happy life. Please do the same. I hope you guys will be okay. I sighed and quickly finished packing, and when I stepped outside the room, I saw Joseph standing nearby. I used to observe on him immediately for the second time that day. More information than the first time. Must be because my observe has leveled up. Okay, the first thing I gotta do is level up observe as much as I can as fast as I can. I mulled. I heard the good news. Although I'm sad to see you leave, I am truly happy for you, he said with a sad smile. Jozu was the one I had memories of the most. He taught the previous Daichi to read and write, and told him all kinds of stories that made him laugh. He was like an older brother. Well, at least to the previous Daichi anyway. Still, I couldn't help but feel a small attachment to him. I went to him and gave him a tight hug. Thank you? For everything. He hugged me back just as tightly. After a few seconds, he let go and quickly wiped the few tears he had at the corner of his eyes. This is way too sappy. Real men don't cry. This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Go on. Better not keep Miss Aiko waiting, he said with a big smile, patting my back. I smiled, nodding at him, and then made my way to the matron's office. Both Kensei and Aiko were waiting for me at the door of the office. Aiko had a gentle smile on her face and asked, "Are you ready, Daichi?" I nodded and then bowed. "Thank you for taking care of me all these years, Miss Aiko. I'll never forget you." The gratitude in my voice was clear. This was a woman who spent her life serving this village as a shinobi, and then healing others as a medic. And now she spends her days looking after and genuinely caring for children who have no one. I may not know her personally, but this woman deserves my utmost respect. Aiko placed a hand on my shoulder. Happy birthday, Daichi. This is a new beginning for you. So make the most of it. I looked at her and nodded, then turned to the old man. We both nodded at each other, and slowly made our way out of the orphanage. As I set foot outside, excitement, anxiety, giddiness, and all kinds of other emotions welled up in my heart. Like Miss Aiko said, this is my new beginning and this is also my second chance. I am not going to waste it. I am gonna give it my all. Get ready, world. Here I come. Chapter 4, Shifang's Restaurant. Daichi's POV. I felt the warm rays of the sun on my body. The cool morning breeze gently blowing around me. I was so excited I had a small skip in my step. As I looked around, I saw trees of different shapes and sizes and various plants of all colors adorning the sides of the road. This village was mesmerizing. There was no pollution in the air here or the screeching noises of the many vehicles that I was accustomed to back in my old world. With every breath of air, it felt like strength was flowing into my body. As I was walking forward, I realized that the orphanage was situated at the outskirts of the Leaf Village. I took a look back to take in the sight of the building. It was different from the one I remember watching in the story. So this must be another orphanage in the village. I remember reading in the description that this orphanage was built by Aiko with her funds, and she was the one running it. Quest created: scout out the village. Explore and find out more about the village. Find the different buildings and places in the village 0/7. Time limit 7 days. Rewards 1000 EXP. Rep increases with Leaf Village citizens. Complete quest in 3 days. New title bonus. Failure. Rep decreases with Leaf Village citizens. Rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Accept Y/N. I was slightly surprised by a new quest appearing so soon, but quickly accepted after reading the contents. I won't say no to more EXP, and with my knowledge and the time limit of 7 days, it would be easy for me to complete it. I looked towards the old man who was walking beside me with a small smile. So where to? I asked. He had a grin when he answered. Why don't we get some breakfast? I know a place that sells some of the most delicious foods in the village. I gave him a nod and looked ahead. He had a serene expression as his left hand used the cane to help him take each step and his right hand folded behind his back. The old man walked slowly but had a measured gait. I walked beside him looking all around me. What the old man didn't know was that I was using my ability Observe on everything that I set my eyes on. Observe. Oak tree. A tall oak tree that was planted 33 years ago and is home to various species of birds and rodents. It is 72 feet in height and 8 feet in width. The branches reach up to 105 feet in length. It is a healthy tree and has strong and durable wood, excellent for furniture and carpentry work. The wood of this tree has a small resistance to water. Observe. Small stone. A hard earthen substance that came from a large rock. Mainly used in walls and foundational works. Observe. Squirrel. HP 18 CP8. A flying squirrel from the species of squirrels. It is 4 years old. They are not capable of flight like birds, but they can glide from one tree to another using their wing-like membrane that stretches from wrist to ankles. Skill Observe level has risen by 1. Skill Observe level has risen by 1. Skill Observe level has risen by 1. As I was using Observe on everything that crossed my path, the level of the skill increased several times. As I kept walking towards the center of the village, I noticed buildings of all shapes and sizes and various colors. The Leaf Village was a mixture of nature and city. The trees and various plants intermingled with the different buildings gave this village an elegant natural beauty. I saw more and more people walking down the streets. People opening their shops for business. I even saw a few ninjas jumping on rooftops and disappearing as quickly as I saw them. I saw some teenagers in vests walking past me. I looked around and at everything in wonder. Like a country bumpkin who just entered the big city. I noticed out of the corner of my eye that a few women were looking at me and giggling at my expression. I felt a blush slowly starting to appear on my face. It's breathtaking, isn't it? The old man asked me. Very. I replied. The old man stopped in front of a small store and motioned me to come inside. I read the small sign hanging on top of the store. Shifang's Restaurant. As soon as I stepped in, I could smell the fragrance of different foods lingering in the air. It was a small, simple restaurant. Only a few people were dining inside at the moment. Even though the restaurant was simple, it was neat and tidy. With an area of little over 17 square meters and around a dozen sets of tables and chairs, it was indeed a small restaurant. You have found a restaurant. Quest progression, 1 to 7. I glanced at the blue notification box and slightly smiled and dismissed it. Happy at the small completion of the quest, I followed Kensei to a seat. The old man went to a table at the corner and took a seat while I took the opposite chair. Suddenly a young man walked out of the kitchen and headed for us. He had a slim figure and fair skin. His long black hair was tied back into a ponytail with a small wool rope. I quickly used observe on him. LV.19 Shifang. Age 20. HP 2738. CP 2023. Shifang is the owner of Shifang's restaurant. Even though he trained in the Shinobi Academy for a few years, his dream was to become a chef like his father. He dropped out during the 3rd year of the academy to pursue his dream. 2 years ago, he inherited the restaurant from his father after he proved himself as a capable chef and owner. He secretly trains his body and senses to improve his cooking speed and skills. 3rd person POV. Good morning, Kensei-san. It's been a while. How have you been, my friend? He asked in a jovial tone. I'm a good little sure. How's business? The usual. Things won't get hectic until noon, so I'm free for a while. I'm currently looking for ideas on a new dish. Oh? What kind of a dish? The old man asked curiously. He knew that all the dishes here were made by Sure, and they were all delicious. That's a surprise. That was the only reply he got. The young owner then turned his head and looked to Daichi and asked politely. And who might you be kidding? I'm Daichi Hekima, the boy said with a smile. I decided to adopt him. So now he's my grandson. Kensei added. Rep increases with Shifang. Sure was surprised and then smiled. Good for you, old man. Guess you won't be so lonely in that house anymore. Now then, what will you two be having? We'll have 2 plates of rainbow dumplings. Coming right up. Sure left and disappeared into the kitchen. I could smell the fragrance of several foods when I entered this place. So I'm guessing this rainbow dumplings is gonna be delicious, huh? Daichi asked, looking at Shure's retreating figure. It is. This place may look small, but I've eaten some of the most delicious foods in my life at this place. Kensei had a small grin when he said those words. Hearing his reply, Daichi got excited to try the dish and was waiting eagerly for it. We have a few minutes before he comes back. So let's have a chat. Kensei's smile disappeared as he said those words. He was calm and collected with no emotions showing on his face. Daichi was only slightly surprised at the sudden change in atmosphere. Even though he smiled and was putting on a cheerful face all this time, he was cautious and had never let his guard down. He knew this was a shinobi village, and he had to be extremely careful with every move he made. He knew from the start, the person adopting him could potentially be an enemy. Until he had the strength to protect himself from most threats, he would tread cautiously. This was something Daichi decided after his meeting with Kensei in the orphanage. Without even realizing it, Daichi's body instinctively shifted into a defensive posture, and the smile and cheerful expression disappeared. He maintained a neutral face just like the old man sitting opposite to him. About 30 seconds passed by, with neither of them making a sound or movement. Each of them looking at the other with expressionless faces. That's what I wanted to see, Kensei said, breaking the uncomfortable silence. Daichi was confused. What does he mean by that? What did he see? Daichi was only pondering these questions for a few seconds before the answer hit him. He suddenly looked at his clenched hands and the defensive posture his body was in. His eyes widened as he found the answer. He didn't react in the way a normal 5-year-old would. Daichi quickly realized that the old man figured out he was no ordinary child, with the way he schooled his face and his body's fight or flight response. He realized I'm more than the average kid based on my reaction just now. But what triggered him to test me? I doubt he knows about my gamer ability or its abnormalities. But if he thinks I'm some kind of a spy or a threat and decides to interrogate me or report me, I'm doomed. I have to find out how much he knows and what he thinks I am. I can't tell him who I really am, but playing dumb won't help me either. And if I lie, it would only get me in trouble. It's best to do this straightforward. Daichi quickly looked back to the old man and asked in a serious voice. How long have you known? Kensei looked at the child in front of him and answered. I see you're choosing the direct approach. Good. That's my style too. So how long have I known that you are much smarter and perceptive than a kid your age has any right to be? Isn't that your question? Kensei asked with a smirk. Daichi looked at him and slowly nodded. Since our first meeting. When Aiko told you about the adoption, you had a certain look on your face and a glint in your eyes. Something I've seen on many shinobi who are deep in enemy territories. It was only for a split second, so I doubt Aiko saw it. But I've been a shinobi for most of my life. So when I saw that calculating glint in your eyes, I instantly recognized it. The eyes of someone finding himself in an unknown situation, and deciding to take a risk after weighing the pros and cons and to figure out the variables. Which in this case is me. And right now your body's reaction to what you perceive as a possible potential threat. The way you reacted to my words. All of that tells me all I need to know. Daichi was freaking out inside his head. Holy crap. Holy crap. This guy is way too perceptive. I knew I might be caught one day, but not on my first day here before lunch. Oh man, what do I do? As Daichi was panicking, a sudden calmness washed over him, and he was able to quickly regain control of his emotions and thoughts. Thank you, Gamer's Mind. Chapter 5 Ambitions. Kensei was watching young Daichi's face intently. He saw the myriads of emotions and expressions flashing across his face. Kensei sighed to himself. This kid is smart and intelligent and perceptive far beyond his age, but he is a total newbie when it comes to controlling his facial expression and emotions. Kensei was a bit surprised at how quickly Daichi went from panicking to suddenly keeping a calm face. But he didn't think much of it. He asked with a smug tone. You wanted to see how I'd react, didn't you? Isn't that why you said I'd make a good pirate? Am I right? Daichi was even more surprised. He didn't think the old man would figure him out so quickly. He nodded his head. Yes. That was the only answer he gave. So what now? Daichi asked cautiously. When I woke up this morning, I didn't think I'd be adopting a genius, Kensei said. Confusion ran across Daichi's face. Genius? What are you talking about? Kid, let's not beat around the bush. We both know you're much smarter than those your age. You're keen and perceptive and have a maturity that's not seen in a 5-year-old. Well, most 5-year-olds anyway, Kensei said as he recalled the faces of the handful of geniuses he had met over his lifetime. And the smile was back on his face. Daichi was listening to him with the same calm expression, but he was relieved inside. Oh, thank God. He thinks I'm a genius and not a spy. I can work with that. But I need to know why he adopted me. What he wants from me. Let's see if this old man is willing to give me the answers. I have 2 questions. Will you answer me honestly? Daichi asked politely. Go ahead. Kensei nodded. Why did you adopt me? Kensei's face turned slightly solemn and had a sad smile on his face. He sighed and answered. You remind me of my son. His name was Hataru. He was killed in the Nine Tails attack 5 years ago. He and I had a strained relationship, and over the years we drifted apart. When I saw you a week ago with Aiko buying groceries, it looked like I was looking at a young Hataru. You have such a resemblance to him, I thought you might be his son. But judging from your expression, I'm not, am I? Daichi asked. No. I had Aiko run a blood test. You're not his son. Listen, Daichi, you may not be his son, but I've decided to adopt you nonetheless. I know we may not be related by blood, but from now on I am your grandpa. And I expect you to call me as such. So your reason for taking me in is because I have a resemblance to your long-dead son. Daichi then smirked innocently and continued. Are you sure it's not because you're getting old, and you need someone to take care of you? Ha! I'm still in my 60s, brat. It'll be a couple dozen more years before I would need anyone to take care of me. The tense atmosphere between the two instantly disappeared. Kensei said with a laugh. Then he said, he was smart and cheeky just like you. While not a prodigy, he was definitely above his peers. So you see, it's not just your looks that resembles him. Now you know why I chose you. Daichi nodded and smiled at him. Thank you for giving me a home. Now for my second question. Why did you decide to test me just now? I've seen orphaned children lead a difficult life. They are extremely cautious towards new people. They are also a bit smarter and more mature than the children of their age. But I doubt they'd be capable of assessing the advantages and disadvantages of an unknown situation and making hard, smart decisions. Especially when they only have a limited amount of information. And to do it all in the span of a few seconds while keeping a cool face? Very few kids can do that. So I wanted to see which one you were. A cautious, slightly more mature child or a genuine genius? Come on. What makes you think I'm a genius? A gut feeling. Besides, you don't talk like a regular kid, do you? For me, it feels as if I'm talking to an adult, he said with a smirk plastered on his face. Daichi didn't answer the rhetorical question. Just then, a tantalizing aroma filled their nostrils and they automatically looked towards the kitchen. They saw Shifang holding 2 bowls heading towards them. He reached their table and placed the food in front of them. Daichi quickly used observe on his food. Observe. Rainbow dumplings. A delicious breakfast dish made by Shifang. The inside of the dumpling has 7 layers of vegetables and meat. The ingredients used to make this dish are all of high quality. Shifang uses a special method to cook this dish to ensure that the ingredients retain some of their chakra and most of their vitality. 1 dumpling restores 15 HP and 9 CP. Daichi was incredulous after reading that description. Holy shit. This thing can restore 15 HP and 9 CP. If that's the case, in my current state just 14 of these things and I'll be in full health. I definitely need to check out my inventory and find out if it can preserve food. If I can, I will definitely buy a couple hundred of these for a rainy day. 2 white glass bowls with 3 white dumplings each and some soup poured and chopped onions sprinkled over it. The white and glossy rainbow dumplings were not radiating rainbow colors despite its name. These dumplings were smooth and translucent, and the fillings inside could almost be seen. From the outside, there seemed to be a faint amount of fragrance enveloping the fillings and made the dumpling appear extremely tantalizing. Enjoy, Sure said and then walked away. All right. Why don't we table our discussion until after we've had our stomachs filled? Let's dig in. You're going to love this place after you've had a taste of these dumplings, Kensei said. Daichi didn't need any more encouragement, and he quickly took the chopsticks, picked up a dumpling, and placed it in his mouth. As soon as he bit into the dumpling, he could feel a soft, fragrant smell filling his mouth. He closed his eyes and enjoyed the blissful moment for a few seconds. Delicious. He couldn't help but say those words. Both Daichi and Kensei enjoyed the food and ate at a comfortable, slow pace. They ate the 3 dumplings and finished the soup in about 10 minutes. Both of them were completely satisfied with their breakfast. Happy? Kensei asked the boy. Yes. I definitely have to come back here, Daichi replied. Now then, shall we continue our chat? Daichi simply nodded to Kensei's question. I want you to think long and hard before you answer this question. What do you want to be in the future? Kensei asked in a serious tone. Daichi paused at the question and was about to immediately reply, a shinobi. But he stopped himself and thought about it a bit more. What I want, huh? I want to become the strongest, so I'm definitely going to be a ninja. But is that all I really want? I'm in a world full of possibilities and unknowns. And I bet there are a lot more interesting things out there that the story didn't cover. I have the gamer's ability. The best tool for any situation. So theoretically nothing should be impossible for me. I could learn about all sorts of things. As Daichi was having these thoughts, he looked toward the empty glass bowl in front of him. After thinking for a few more seconds, he made a decision, and he had his answer. Daichi looked at the old man and had a resolute face and gave him his answer. I am going to be a shinobi. Not just any shinobi, but the world's strongest. But that's not all I want. I want to visit all sorts of places. Travel the world. Experience all sorts of things. Try new things. But what I want the most is to not have any regrets. Kensei heard Daichi's answer and had an understandable expression. A free spirit. Daichi. I've been a shinobi for over 4 decades. The years and experiences have taught me that the world isn't black and white. There will be people who will oppose your goals, both outside the village and within, and become your enemies simply because you might become a threat to them. To make your dreams come true and live the way you want, you have to be strong. Stronger than most. If not all. That journey will be extremely difficult. Do you really want that? Kensei asked in a serious tone. Yes. I'm prepared. I won't back down from any challenge that comes my way. Daichi replied without a second's hesitation and with absolute resolve. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Seeing the look on Daichi's face, Kensei understood the boy was serious. And he knew the boy understood the challenges that would face him. A strong heart indeed. He had a large grin broadening on his old face. The boy's ambition reminded him of his own when he was a youth. At that moment Kensei decided he was going to help the boy achieve his dreams. But before he started training the boy, Kensei decided he was going to see just how strong-willed the boy was. If you want to become the strongest, then you're gonna need some intense training. Right now you're 5. I'll let you join the academy next year. So that means we have a year to train and get you to the same level as the clan kids. Now, just because you said you wanted to be the strongest doesn't mean you'll become one. I want to see your resolve when your body feels like it's on fire. Prove to me within the next month that you can do more than just talk big. If I'm convinced, then I'll start your training. Hearing the old man's challenge lit a fire inside him. He wanted to prove to Kensei that he could do it. A new quest suddenly popped up. Quest created: get ahead of your peers. Prove to Kensei Usagi that you have what it takes to stand at the top of this world. Convince him to start training you within the month. And then train hard and prepare for the academy. Time limit: 12 months 3 days. Conditions: increase your level to 13 by the time you join the academy. Learn beginner taijutsu and increase it to LV.15. Learn basic chakra control technique and increase it to LV.15. Increase your basic body conditioning to LV.15. Learn beginner shuriken jutsu and increase it to LV.15. Learn 1 E-rank ninjutsu or more 0/1. Find out your chakra nature. Unlock any 2 special stats. Rewards: 1500 EXP. Plus 1 level. Plus 3 to all awakened stat points. Plus 1 LV to all skills. Plus 12 stat points. Rep increases with everyone. Rep massively increases with Kensei Usagi. New title. Special reward. Failure. -2 levels. Rep decreases with the Leaf Village citizens. Rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Rep decreases with academy teachers. Rep decreased with the Rookie 9. New title. Accept Y/N. After reading through the quest, Daichi became excited. He immediately accepted it and was determined to complete it. Right after he accepted the quest, a new one popped up. But the quest box only had a few lines with no reward or failure. Daichi was surprised and confused at the second new quest. Quest created: Path to the Strongest locked. This quest can only be opened by successfully completing the quest: get ahead of your peers. Failure to open this quest will significantly increase your chances of meeting death within the next 7 years and certain death within 9 years. Well, that's not ominous at all, Daichi thought sarcastically. Chapter 6: New Home. Daichi and Kensei stepped out of the restaurant after paying the bill and headed in a new direction. Why don't we get you some new clothes? I can tell those hand-me-downs are not really your type. Come on. Both the old man and young boy walked leisurely. Kensei had a serene smile as he watched young Daichi take in the different sights. Daichi was looking around everywhere in wonder, and using his observational skill on everything. His observe has leveled up even further, and after checking out the level of several shinobi that passed by him, he came to a conclusion. So I can see the level of someone up to 45 levels above mine. And the higher the level, the less information. I can't read the level or stats of any shinobi wearing a vest. Does that mean most are above level 48? The highest levels I've read until now are Miss Aiko with level 47 and another teenager that just passed by with level 48. But his description said he was someone who's been a genin for 6 years. But Aiko's description said she was a. So that means there might be people with stats way beyond what their level shows. Thinking about it, that makes sense. Rock Lee with his gates opened would have his physical stats boosted much further than someone of his same level. Okay, I definitely shouldn't underestimate anyone, even if they are the same level, or even a few below me. Due to making a logical and smart decision, you have obtained +1 WIS. So it agrees with me. Wait, is this system alive? Are you alive? Daichi shouted in his several seconds of silence and no reply. Daichi felt like a fool for thinking the system could talk back and answer his questions like a person could. We're here. Daichi was taken out of his thoughts when he heard Kensei speak. They were in front of a clothing store that was designed with several colors. One could see the different types of outfits in the store from the road through the glass window at the front. The name of the store was Hinshitsu. Kensei opened the door of the shop and it rang a bell. He stepped inside, followed by Daichi. As soon as he stepped inside, a notification appeared. You have found a clothing outlet. Quest progression, 2 out of 7. Nice. Only 5 more to go for the next level. As they went inside, a girl in her late teens greeted them. She was wearing a dress that made her look elegant and beautiful. She had brunette hair that was tied in a bun and was wearing pink lipstick. She had a slender figure and had a beautiful smile on her face. Hello? Welcome to Hinshitsu. My name is Ichika. How can I help you today? Observe. LV, Adachika Kentaro. Age 18. HP, 812. CP, 188. Ichika Kentaro is the daughter of Massimo Kentaro. She is currently an employee of the clothing store Hinshitsu. She is a single woman with aspirations of owning her own designer clothing line in the future. She is an average person with no other noticeable aspects. Daichi used Observe and the system showed no interesting facts about the girl. However, that didn't mean he would be impolite when talking to her. Hello, young one, we're here to buy some clothes for my grandson, Kensei said with a smile. She looked at Kensei and then at Daichi. She had a cute smile. Ah, what an adorable grandson. Follow me. She turned around and led them to a section of the store that sold children's clothes. What color do you like? She asked. Green and maybe something in black and red, Daichi replied. She had a tape and took Daichi's measurements and went to get him a few options. Kensei sat in a nearby chair watching the boy. He still remembered the answer the boy gave him. His ambition resonated with Kensei. He closed his eyes and began to reminisce about his past. He didn't know how much time had passed as the memories came and went, but was brought to the present when someone tapped his shoulder. He opened his eyes. He saw Daichi in a new outfit. The kid was wearing a light green shirt with black trousers. So how do I look? Daichi wanted to know Kensei's opinion. Good. They suit you. He got up from his chair and paid the bill and both of them left. Let's go home, Kensei said as he started walking in the direction of his house. Daichi followed him. After about a 15-minute walk they reached a large gate. There was a 2-story house beyond it, situated inside a modest compound surrounded by tall trees. There was a garden in the front with various flowers of all colors growing, but most of them were withered or dying. There was also weed growing amongst them. Kensei placed his right hand on the gate on a specific design and pushed a tiny amount of chakra. The gate opened on its own, neither too fast nor too slow. After they both walked past the gate, it slowly closed on its own. Wow. That's cool. How did it do that? Daichi asked. The old man had a smirk when he heard the question. He replied an elegant but simple sealing. If you plan on becoming the strongest, then it's a branch you're gonna have to study. When Daichi heard it, he was excited. He could imagine all the possibilities with sealing once he mastered it. Both of them went inside the house. Daichi noted that it was modeled after a traditional Japanese house. It had wooden verandas circling all around with sliding doors. The floor was covered in tatami mats. When he stepped into the room, he noted that it had minimal furniture. Quite different from his apartment in his old life. Both of them stepped into the living room. Welcome to your new home, Kensei said happily. Thanks, Gramps, Daichi replied. That's the first time you've acknowledged me as your grandfather. It is, isn't it? I'm gonna stick with it. Although I do prefer you call me Grandpa. Daichi mulled for a few seconds and gave a reply. Nah. I like Gramps much more. Cheeky brat. Both of them had a smirk. Come on. I'll show you to your room. Kensei led Daichi upstairs to another room. He slid open the door. It was a simple room with a bed, a table and chair, a full-length mirror and an empty shelf. A small closet and a bathroom attached to it. And a window that showed the back of the house. All in all, a comfortable room to live in for someone like Daichi. It's almost noon. Get settled and come down in an hour. I'll have something to eat by then. Oh, and happy birthday, kid, he said with a gentle smile and went downstairs, leaving the boy alone. Daichi got inside and closed the door behind him as he contemplated his situation. He realized the absurdity of the whole thing. Reborn into a fictional world and getting adopted on the same day. He realized that the gamer's mind was keeping him from freaking out. He once again reminded himself that this was his second chance, and a way forward. Closing his eyes, he took a deep breath and let it out after a few seconds. When he opened his eyes, he had a metaphorical fire lit in them. Let's begin. He quickly unpacked his belongings and arranged them. Everything was quickly done in a few minutes. He was ready to find out more about his gamer ability. First things first. Let me check out my stats. Status, he said in his mind. Name Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class, civilian. Age 5. Title: Capable Child. Level 30/1000. HP: 195. CP: 155. SP: 100. Primary stats: Strength 5. Vitality 4. Dexterity 3. Agility 4. Intelligence 10. Chakra 3. Wisdom 9. Special stats locked. To see the special stats, at least one of them must be unlocked. Unlocking these stats require certain actions or reaching specific conditions. Different stats are unlocked with different methods. Stat points 25. Rio 0. Alright. I only need to think of the options and it appears. Excellent. Wisdom increased by 2. Need to find a way to unlock the special stats quickly. I expected the health and chakra bars at the top. But what's the third? SP. Does it stand for stamina points? That must be it. I have 25 points. So I must have had 15 stat points at the beginning and 5 points with each level up. I think. Need to check just how many points I get from each level up. Since I can increase stat points by training, I won't spend them now since they will be difficult to increase when they reach a high enough number, and even if I do, it won't be for the next few days. But before I spend any stat points, I need to figure out what exactly my stats do to my body and what exactly they increase. Daichi looked at the 7 different stats. Alright, the strength stat is pretty obvious. It increases the strength of the body. I'm assuming vitality would increase my health points and stamina points. I am pretty sure that agility stat is the one that increases speed, so dexterity must help me with something else. Chakra stat increases the chakra points. So does increasing intelligence stat just gives me more intelligence, or does it do more? Maybe a photographic memory? Questions for later. And finally, wisdom. I already know this is the stat that helps me with making better decisions. I remember that in the original gamer story, logical and smarter decisions gave stat points to intelligence. But mine was allocated to wisdom stat. It seems my gamer ability is a bit different from the one Han had. So more wisdom equals smarter decisions. This might help me in games like shogi or go or chess. Do they even have chess in this world? Again, questions for later. Alright, next up, inventory. Inventory. A box with empty slots appeared before Daichi. He had a lot of things to experiment on with the inventory skill. He wanted to know if he could store living creatures and if time was frozen inside the storage dimension. Right now the box showed nothing but empty slots. Daichi took an outfit and brought them on top of the window and watched it disappear. Knowing that it was going to happen and watching it happen were two different things. He took them out of his inventory to see what it felt like and put them back in again. He decided he needed to buy a few things to do more experiments and see the limitations of the inventory ability. Let's see. What's next? Chapter 7, Training 01. Alright. Next up, skills. Skills. Gamer's Mind Passive. Max Gamer's Mind is one of the skills granted to the player by the system. It allows the user to calmly and logically think things through. Allows a peaceful state of mind. This skill also provides immunity to mental disorders. Gamer's Mind is a skill that's already obtained and maxed. Gamer's Body Passive. Max Gamer's Body is one of the skills granted to the player by the system. While this skill grants a body that allows the user to live the real world like a game, it has certain limitations. Cuts and bruises will be healed based on the physical stats of the user. User receives minimal physical damage from blunt force attacks, only pain for a few seconds and a loss of HP. But piercing and stabbing attacks have a limited effect on the gamer's body. Sleeping in a bed restores HP, CP, SP. The gamer's body is a passive skill that is already obtained and maxed. Gaia's Blessing Passive. Max, the great god Gaia has blessed you and bestowed on you a special ability. Gaia's blessing will ensure that you will always be strong and healthy in your lifetime. Temporary effect. Gives the soul a new healthy body. Permanent effect. All diseases, poisons and negative status effects are healed. Sleeping increases regeneration. Sleeping in a bed increases regeneration several-fold. Observe active, LV.9, 53%, a skill to find the target's information. Observers are obtained through continuous observation. Higher level of the skill reveals more information about the target. I expected the first two skills and observe, but what's the third one? Gaia's Blessing? Is that how I got a new body? Seems to be a one-time thing. But that permanent effect, on the other hand, that's definitely a great blessing. Yes, I won't have to worry about terminal illnesses or poison experts. As Daichi was reading the skills, he did a double take. His eyes stopped at the gamer's body skill and he read every line carefully. Receives minimal damage from blunt force attacks, but stabbing and piercing attacks have limited effects? Does that mean if someone pierced my internal organs, they would be damaged? Could those injuries be permanent? No. No. Based on what I understand, Gaia's permanent blessing would counteract all negative status effects and heal damaged organs. But that's one question I'm not eager to confirm the answer to. Still, this could be a blessing in disguise. If people saw me get stabbed and see no bleeding or any external injuries, they would definitely get suspicious. The last thing I want is to end up as a test subject for dissection on an operating table under the scalpels of several doctors, or worse, Orochimaru. After going through everything one more time, Daichi closed all the notification boxes and went to the window in his room. He could see the back of the home. There was a koi pond along with several wooden training stumps. Some of the stumps had targets painted on them. Guess I'll be able to practice my shuriken and kunai throwing skills here. And in another corner there were rocks of various shapes and sizes. Maybe I can use those for weight training. Time flew by, and after about an hour he went down to meet the old man. When he got down, he saw Kensei bringing the food. They ate in a comfortable silence and enjoyed the meal. When they finished, Daichi took the bowl from the old man and went to the kitchen to wash it. After washing the second dish, he got a new skill. A new skill is created with a specific action. Through continuous dishwashing, a skill to wash and clean dishes, dishwashing has been created. Dishwashing passive, LV.1, a skill obtained through continuous dishwashing. With more mastery, you can clean any dirty spots with more speed. Effects, plus 5% increase in speed. Just as I thought. I can obtain new skills with certain repetitive actions. When he got done, he went back to find his grandpa. Kensei was waiting for him in the living room. He said, "Come, I'll show you the rest of the house." The house had a room dedicated for training and sparring. It was a wide area with a tall stump in the corner. There was also a library filled with books and scrolls of all sizes. When Daichi saw it, his eyes widened in excitement. All that knowledge. "I see you like my library," Kensei said, understanding Daichi's thirst for knowledge. "All the knowledge I have acquired throughout my career is recorded and stored here. For now I'll let you take the basics, but after you've proven yourself to me, I'll let you have them all depending on your progress." "Thanks, Gramps. I won't let you down." They left and went outside. This house has some basic defenses. It tells me if anyone unexpectedly arrives, among other things. I've added your chakra to the seal as well. I definitely gotta learn how to do that. In time. Kensei then looked over to the garden. He had a melancholic expression on his face. "My wife planted those flowers. She built a beautiful garden in memory of my son. But now watching those flowers wither away and the whole place in such disarray." Kensei sighed to himself. Just then a new quest appeared. Quest created: take care of the garden. The garden that was built by Kensei's wife is in rough condition. Pull the weeds, fertilize the soil, water the plants, and make the garden beautiful once again. Conditions: plant fresh seeds. Water the plants 4 times a week. Fertilize the soil once every 3 to 4 weeks. Weed the garden once a week. Rewards: 300 EXP weekly. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Failure: rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Accept Y/N. After reading the quest, there is no way I'm rejecting it. By the end of the year, that's almost 15,000 EXP. This quest alone would definitely increase my level several times. Daichi accepted the quest but didn't tell the old man. He wanted to surprise him. "Come on. Let's take a look around the back." Putting a small smile on, Kensei started walking. There was a medium-sized koi pond and several shuriken target stumps lined. You can train your shuriken jutsu here and someday in the future, advanced chakra control techniques. So what do you think? It's perfect. Let's get started. I want to start training right now. Kensei smiled at the reply and sat down on the wooden veranda. Do some light stretches. That way you don't pull your muscles. Then start running around the compound. As I understand, you've never had any training in your life, have you? No. Then it's important we find the current limits of your body. And then increase that limit day by day. Show me that determination and willpower. Oh, don't you worry about Gramps. You're not gonna be disappointed. Daichi started doing some light stretches to loosen up and get used to his new body. After about 20 minutes, a new notification appeared. Due to successful control of your body and senses, you have obtained +1 DX. So stretching exercises increase the dexterity points, huh? Good to know. Control of body and senses. I'll have to look into that. Daichi was feeling small amounts of pain all over his body. But he endured it. After about a minute, the pain he was feeling disappeared. Now that you're all limbered up, take 10 laps around the compound. Quest created: complete 10 laps. Run 10 laps around the compound before the time runs out. Time limit 2000 hours minutes. Conditions: complete the run in 2000 hours minutes. Complete the run in 1500 hours minutes. Bonus: complete the run in 10 o'clock minutes. Bonus. Rewards: plus 200 EXP, plus 400 EXP bonus, plus 800 EXP bonus. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Failure. Rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Accept Y/N. Daichi quickly accepted the quest, opened up his status window, and started running. But he kept his speed low. His speed was between jogging and sprinting. He wanted to see how long he could keep this up. He knew that with his current stats, completing the bonus parts of the quest would be very difficult, if not impossible. He didn't want to run faster and exhaust himself quickly. So he kept a steady pace, intent on completing the quest, and ignored its bonus parts. As he kept running, he saw his stamina points slowly decrease. He also saw several notification boxes popping up. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 VIT. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 AGI. Watching the notification boxes appear and inform him of his stat growth only made him more motivated. He kept running at a steady pace. As he completed each lap, he was getting more and more tired and his breathing became heavier. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 VIT. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 AGI. After about 17 minutes, Daichi completed 10 laps around the house. His heart was pounding in his chest, and he was breathing heavily. His legs felt like jelly. He saw that his stamina points were in the single digit. Daichi took a walk around the house one more time to calm himself down. Quest complete: 10 laps. Completed. Rewards: plus 230 XP. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Strange. I thought the reward was plus 200 EXP. As Daichi was pondering on this question, it suddenly hit him. The title Capable Child. It increases the EXP reward by 15%. So, how did I do it? Even though he knew the answer, he asked, still breathing through his mouth but not as heavily. You just ran 2.5 kilometers in 17 minutes and 15 seconds. Not bad for a 5-year-old with no previous training. But we definitely have our work cut out for us. Now go sit under the tree beside the pond. Try and meditate. Meditation helps in focusing the mind and rejuvenating the body. Daichi went to the tree and sat under its shade. He sat cross-legged and closed his eyes. He kept his eyes closed and concentrated on his breathing. After a couple of minutes, his mind became distracted with several thoughts, but he once again concentrated on his breathing. With each breath, he could feel his body relaxing. This time he was able to concentrate for about 10 minutes before he became distracted again. He took a deep breath and let it out, and once again focused on his breathing. This time he stayed that way as he felt his body once again in a relaxed state. His heart was beating in a calm manner, and the pains he had all disappeared. He didn't even open his eyes when a new notification appeared. He just focused on his breathing and listened to the sounds of his heartbeat. Chapter 8, Training 02. Daichi. Wake up, it's time. Those words from Kensei brought Daichi back from his meditative state. Daichi nodded at the old man and was about to get up, but he saw several notification boxes in front of him. A new skill is created with a specific action. Through continuously focusing on your breathing and entering a calm state, a skill to enter the meditative state, meditate, has been created. Meditate active, LV. 1. A skill obtained through continuously focusing on breathing and avoiding distractions. Helps the user enter a calm meditative state. Increases the regeneration of the body. Effects: plus 2% to base HP regeneration per minute. Plus 2% to base CP regeneration per minute. Plus 2% to base SP regeneration per minute. Skill meditates level has risen by 1. Meditate active, LV. 2, 34%, a skill obtained through continuously focusing on breathing and avoiding distractions. Helps the user enter a calm meditative state. Increases the regeneration of the body. Effects, plus 3% to base HP regeneration per minute. Plus 3% to base CP regeneration per minute. Plus 3% to base SP regeneration per minute. As Daichi read the notifications, he couldn't help but feel a little smile appear on his face. I'm definitely gonna abuse the hell out of this meditation skill. He looked to his stamina points bar and found that it had regenerated to 73 points and was slowly but steadily increasing. Alright. Now let's test the strength of your body. Since we're just starting, how about we take things small? 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, and 50 squats should do. Quest created. Complete the exercises. Complete 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, and 50 squats before the time runs out. Time limit 30:00 minutes. Conditions. Complete the exercise in 30:00 minutes. Complete the exercise in 2000 hours minutes. Bonus. Complete the exercise in 10 o'clock minutes. Bonus. Rewards. Skill, basic body conditioning. Plus 300 EXP. Plus 600 EXP bonus. Plus 1000 EXP bonus. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Failure. New title. Rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Accept Y/N. Daichi didn't say a word as he heard his Gramps talk. He accepted his next quest and got down and started doing push-ups first. He had the status page opened in front of him. As he completed the 8th push-up, the blue translucent notification box appeared. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 STR. Daichi just looked at it and kept going. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 STR. It appeared again when he was almost done with his first set of the 3 exercises. His stamina points have been reduced to 51. Taking a deep breath, Daichi got into position for the sit-ups. Laying on his back with his legs bent and feet firmly on the ground for stability, and his hands locked behind his head, he started his next set. He curled up his upper body all the way to his knees. 1, 2, 3. Daichi started counting in his head as he completed each round. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 STR. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 STR. By the time he was done, 2 strength stat increase notification boxes were visible. He felt like every part of his body was torn, especially his torso and arms. But after a minute the pain went away. Daichi saw that his stamina points decreased to 20, and that only a little over 12 minutes were remaining for him to complete the last exercise. He quickly got into position and started the last set. Standing with his feet wide apart, his chest up, he pushed his hips back into a sitting position. He started counting in his head as he went back up each time. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 AGI. Daichi was slightly surprised when he saw that it was his agility, and not strength, that increased. But he quickly realized that this exercise strengthens the leg muscles and improves lower body mobility. As he kept completing each round of squats, he realized that different exercises increase different stats. It seems running increases vitality and agility, and stretching exercises increase dexterity. And it looks like my upper body training improves my strength. Fascinating. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained plus 1 AGI. By the time he completed the set, his stat went up 1 more time. Daichi noticed that his SP only had 2 more points left. Quest: complete the exercises. Completed. Rewards. Skill: basic body conditioning. Plus 345 EXP. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Well done, Daichi. Above average. Acceptable. But definitely needs work. How are you feeling? Kensei asked, smiling. My legs feel like they're on fire. Other than that, peachy. Daichi gave a cheeky reply as he took deep breaths. Kensei smirked when he heard the answer. He liked the kid's spitfire attitude. Basic body conditioning passive, LV. 1. The skill gives the user's body an increase in strength, speed, vitality, and stamina through training. Effects: plus 1% to damage inflicted. Plus 1% to movement speed. Plus 1% to physical stat growth. Percentage to damage taken. Daichi was happy he was able to complete the exercise within the time limit. Even though he couldn't complete the bonus parts of the quest, he received a new skill and some EXP. He knew this new skill would increase his stat growth speed over time, and every EXP got him closer to the next level. As he looked at the remaining stamina points, he got curious. He wanted to know what would happen if all his stamina got depleted. So he decided to run a lap around the compound to find out. Daichi started to slowly jog, and then he picked up the pace. It was extremely difficult for him to run. His limbs felt like they were made of lead, but he kept going. A few minutes later, his stamina points reached 0. Suddenly, for the first time, a red notification box appeared. Your SP has reached 0. You have reached a special condition. Special stat stamina is opened. +1 stamina. Since one of the special stats is unlocked, you can view the special stat list. This stat increases the stamina points of the player. You have unlocked a special stat. Reward, +500 EXP. +75 EXP. You have leveled up. Despite being out of breath and struggling to stand, Daichi couldn't help but have a wide grin on his face. Suddenly most of the fatigue left his body, and he felt rejuvenated. He had an idea as to what happened, but he needed to confirm it. With a broad smile, he opened up his status page. Name: Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class: Civilian. Age: 5. Title: Capable Child. Level 4, 150/1325. CP: 215/215. SP: 85/170. Primary stats: Strength 9. Vitality 6. Dexterity 4. Agility 8. Intelligence 10. Chakra 3. Wisdom 9. Special stats: unlocking these stats requires certain actions or reaching specific conditions. Different stats are unlocked with different methods. Stat points cannot be allocated to these stats. Sense locked. Stamina 2. Indomitable locked. Charisma locked. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Stat points 30. Rio 0. Daichi chuckled. So every time I level up I get half my stamina points. It looks like my primary stats won't go up with each level up, but special stats do. And every level up rewards me with 5 stat points. I'll need to think this through. To see the physical representation of his efforts, and to watch them grow, was a great motivator for him. He didn't want to stop. One could say he became slightly addicted to training and watching his stat and points increase. He started running at a much faster pace and completed the lap around the house quickly. He didn't say anything to the old man and simply went under the tree to meditate. Kensei had a strange look on his face as he watched Daichi meditate. Is it just me, or did his chakra increase? Increasing one's chakra is not something that can be done in a few minutes with an hour of training. And yet, it feels like his chakra capacity has increased by a small margin. Or maybe old age is catching up to me. Guess I really am rusty if I can't even assess the chakra capacity of a kid fresh into training. Kensei sighed to himself. He was content with just sitting there watching his new adopted grandson train himself. Daichi meditated for about 2 hours. His SP bar was fully regenerated. His meditate skill went up another level. He stood up and did some stretching exercises. He remembered watching different types of them in his previous life. As he got his body limbered up again, he got a notification informing him of his increased dexterity. Due to successful control of your body and senses, you have obtained +1 DX. He ran 10 laps around the house, but this time he went at a faster pace than before. There was no quest this time, but he was able to complete the run in 14 minutes, and he was nowhere near as tired as the first time. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 AGI. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 VIT. During the run, he was able to increase his agility and vitality stat by 1 point each. He quickly got down to complete the next 50 rounds of push-ups, sit-ups and squats. Around the time of completion, due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 STR. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 AGI. He got another stat point in strength and agility. And his basic body conditioning skill also leveled up. As his SP got below 5, he got a notification showing a growth in stamina. +1 stamina. Daichi got under the tree and sat in the meditative pose for the 3rd time that day. By the time he was done, the sun had begun to set. He felt refreshed and happy at his progress on his first day. He got up and went to sit near Kensei. "You've certainly exceeded my expectations," Kensei said with a smile. Rep increased with Kensei Usagi. "Thanks, Gramps." Both of them sat in comfortable silence as they watched the last rays of the sun disappear. They got up after a few minutes and went inside. The old man had someone deliver their dinner by evening. They ate, and Kensei shared some stories of his time as a shinobi. Both of them retired to their rooms shortly after. Daichi had a lot on his mind, and there were many things he had to confirm regarding his abilities. As he walked upstairs to his room, he looked at his fists and slowly clenched them. He could feel the strength coursing through them. "In one day I was able to increase my strength by this much. Even though it's a small margin, this was still achieved within the span of a day. Moving forward, I know increasing my stats will become difficult, but if I keep with it, I can definitely stand at top." Daichi slid open the door and went inside his room. Chapter 9: Exploring the Village. Daichi went to his room and freshened up. He changed into his sleepwear and got on the bed. He thought about the events of the day. He was still a bit confused on why Kensei thought he was a genius. As he pondered on this question for some more time, the answer came to him. "From my perspective, I'm someone who got placed into an unfamiliar territory and is trying to stay undercover. So when someone accuses me of hiding my intentions, I would think that they would think I was a spy or something equally dangerous. But from their perspective, I'm just an orphan child who grew up in Leaf Village all his life. They would attribute my suspicious behavior to paranoia or trust issues. Probably. I think. Still, this puts me at ease a bit. There are a lot of things I want to do tomorrow, but first let me check out how much my stats have improved." Status: Name: Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class: Civilian. Age: 5. Title: Capable Child. Level 4, 150/1325. HP: 355. CP: 230. SP: 200. Primary stats: Strength 10. Vitality 7. Dexterity 5. Agility 10. Intelligence 10. Chakra 3. Wisdom 9. Special stats: Unlocking these stats requires certain actions or reaching specific conditions. Different stats are unlocked with different methods. Stat points cannot be allocated to these stats. Sense locked. Stamina 3. Indomitable locked. Charisma locked. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Stat points 30. Rio 0. Wow. My HP went up by 160 points. So that means my HP points are definitely linked to strength, vitality, and maybe stamina. We need more data to figure out how much each stat increases my HP, CP, and SP. I got 3 stats that reach 10 and the lowest one is Chakra. Need to unlock Chakra next. But I'll have to read up on Chakra theory books and how to safely awaken them. I'll do that tomorrow. After I unlock my Chakra, I can increase its points with meditation and leaf concentration exercise. Looks like I can't increase the special stats with points. So that means they most probably can be increased through training or other methods. Need to figure out a way to unlock them as fast as I can. Alright. Next skills. Skills. 1. Gamer's Mind Passive, LV. Max Gamer's Mind is one of the skills granted to the user by the system. It allows the user to calmly and logically think things through. Allows a peaceful state of mind. And this skill provides immunity to mental disorders. Gamer's Mind is a skill that's already obtained and maxed. 2. Gamer's Body Passive, LV. Max Gamer's Body is one of the skills granted to the player by the system. While this skill grants a body that allows the user to live the real world like a game, it has certain limitations. Cuts and bruises will be healed based on the physical stats of the user. The user receives minimal physical damage from blunt force attacks, only pain for a few seconds, and a loss of HP. But piercing and stabbing attacks will have a limited effect on the gamer's body. Sleeping in a bed restores HP, CP, SP. Gamer's Body is a passive skill that is already obtained and maxed. 3. Gaia's Blessing Passive, LV. Max, the great god Gaia has blessed you and bestowed on you a special ability. Gaia's blessing will ensure that you will always be strong and healthy in your lifetime. Temporary effect, gives the soul a new healthy body. Permanent effect, all diseases, poisons, and negative status effects are healed. Sleeping increases regeneration. Sleeping in a bed increases regeneration severalfold. 4. Observe active, LV.9, 91%, a skill to find the target's information. Observe was obtained through continuous observation. Higher level of the skill reveals more information about the target. 5. Dishwashing passive, LV.1, a skill obtained through continuous dishwashing. With more mastery, you can clean any dirty spots with more speed. Effects, plus 5% increase in speed. 6. Meditate active, LV. 3. 66%, a skill obtained through continuously focusing on breathing and avoiding distractions. Helps the user enter a calm meditative state. Increases the regeneration of the body. Effects, plus 4% to base HP regeneration per minute. Plus 4% to base CP regeneration per minute. Plus 4% to base SP regeneration per minute. 7. Basic body conditioning passive, LV. 2. 55%. This skill gives the user's body an increase in strength, speed, vitality, and stamina through training. Effects, plus 2% increase to damage inflicted. Plus 2% increase to movement speed. Plus 2% increase to physical stat growth. Percentage decrease to damage taken. Observe is on the verge of reaching level 10. And meditate and basic body conditioning have increased by 1. I still have a lot to do. Need to buy some things to experiment and find out the full potential of inventory. And I need to start on the gardening quest tomorrow. Let's see. What else? Of course. Basic taijutsu and shuriken jutsu. After that, once I increase my chakra control and capacity with the leaf concentration exercise, I'll look into genjutsu. I'll save the E-rank ninjutsu for after that. Since my gamer's body is a bit different, I'll have to figure out its limitations. I got 1 month to impress the old man, and another 11 to get ahead of my classmates. Lots of work ahead of me, but if I work smart, I can definitely push the advantages of having the gamer's ability to the max. For the first time in a long time, Daichi was truly happy and looking forward to a new day. He slowly closed his eyes and went to sleep as he dreamed of what his future would be like. Daichi woke up to the sounds of birds chirping and the rays of the morning sun shining through the window. You have slept in a bed. HP, CP and SP have been fully restored. Those words were the first thing that greeted him. He got up from his bed and went to the window. He took in the beautiful sights in front of him. After standing there for a couple of minutes and enjoying the beauties of nature, Daichi went to the bathroom and freshened up. After putting on a new set of clothes, he went down to greet Kensei. As he got down, he saw the old man eating a few dumplings and reading a book. Good morning, Gramps. Morning, kid. I had someone deliver those rainbow dumplings a few minutes ago. So eat them while they're fresh and hot. Daichi nodded and went to eat his breakfast. He finished the dumplings in a couple of minutes and then went near his grandfather. So what are your plans for today? Kensei asked, his eyes still on the book. I want to explore the village more. And maybe buy a few things. Daichi replied. What about you? He asked. I'll be here reading my book. It's a fascinating read. And there's 2,000 ryos inside that box. It's yours. Spend it wisely, Kensei said, pointing to a nearby red box on a table. I will. Thanks, Gramps. I'm gonna head out to the library first and then check out a few other places. So I'll be a little late. Make sure to get home before night falls, Kensei said, looking up from his book. Quest created, don't be late. Explore the village but return home by 6 p.m. Rewards. Plus 100 EXP. Rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Failure. Minus 100 EXP. Rep decreases with Kensei Usagi. Accept, Y/N. Daichi accepted the quest without hesitation. I'll be back by evening. By the way, do you want me to bring you anything? No need. I've already bought everything we need for the week. Daichi nodded to his grandfather and went out. Daichi was excited for 2 reasons. 1. He wanted to explore and see more of the Leaf Village. And 2, he wanted to complete his quest. Alright. What to do first? Gonna need to buy a few things to test out my inventory. And I need to start on my gardening quest, but I don't know much about gardening, so a book on that would be nice. Now that I think about it, a book on cooking would be good too. If I can learn to cook dishes that restores my HP and CP, it would be a great boon. Need to unlock my chakra. So I definitely have to go to the library and read a few books on that. No, wait. The old man must have chakra theory books in his personal library. What I need right now is information. I have to find out if there are any changes to the history and events. I need to confirm whether this is the canon timeline, or if I'm living in some alternate universe. Daichi made up his mind and decided to head towards the library. He walked around taking in the sights. A few minutes later he saw a small book stall on the side of the road. It was a small store sandwiched between two apartment buildings. He decided to check it out. He saw an old man with gray hair sitting on a stool at the front. Observe. LV, 22 Khan. Age 55. HP, 2947 CP, 1320. Khan is a former reserve genin. He spent most of his career completing menial missions. He was injured during a scouting mission in the Third World War which sent him to retirement. He now spends his time as the owner of Khan's bookstore. He is also a secret informant of Jiraiya. He has 2 sons. As Daichi read the description, he did a double take. I didn't think I would come into contact with anyone related to the Sannin so soon. Can't make any mistakes. Gotta act my age and keep cool. As he reached the store, a new notification appeared. You have found a book stall. Quest progression. March 7th. Hello, sir. Good morning, Daichi said in a calm voice. Morning. What can I get you, boy? Khan asked. I'm looking for a good cookbook with lots of recipes. And a book on gardening. Do you have any of those? Daichi asked politely. Of course. Hold on. With those words, Khan stood up and searched through the stacks of books piled up. Shortly after, he returned with 2 books. Here. I think these 2 should help. Khan handed Daichi the 2 books. Observe. Cooking for Beginners. A leaf cookbook for beginners. Contains several modern and classic recipes made easy. This cookbook includes a comprehensive guide to kitchen essentials, prep and cooking techniques, 100+ tasty recipes. This cookbook simplifies complex cooking techniques, which makes it perfect for beginners. Observe. A gardener's guide. This guide will introduce you to the fundamentals of horticulture, whether you are an amateur or a seasoned gardener. It covers every aspect of creating, managing, and working in an organic garden. This book is excellent for beginners who are looking to build their own garden. After looking over the description of the 2 books, Daichi was satisfied. He flipped open a few pages and glossed over them. After a minute, he closed the book and said, "These will do." How much? 350 ryo, came the reply. Daichi paid the amount and was about to leave, but he saw a few bags and different types of sunglasses hanging at the back of the store. One particular type of sunglasses caught his eye. It was round, with black tinted shades and a green frame. That glass reminded Daichi of the steampunk-type glasses. He also decided to buy a black backpack to keep his books. After having Khan bring him the 2 things, he paid an additional 180 ryo and left the store. Observe. Black sunglasses. These sunglasses are uniquely stylish and can enhance the wearer's aesthetic appeal with ease. The craftsman who made these glasses was said to have been inspired by a retro-futuristic science fiction novel that depicts technology never before seen in this world. This is a medium-sized sunglass with stylish green frames and round shades. Observe. Black backpack. An item that is commonly used by travelers and students. A simple frameless backpack with above-average aesthetic design. This is made of cotton fabric and coated with wax. Although this backpack has excellent waterproofing, it cannot withstand all abrasions. He put the books in the bag and put on his new sunglasses. The main reason he bought a sunglass was to make sure no one saw the movements of his eyes. Daichi didn't want people to know that he was reading something that was invisible to them. If someone perceptive saw Daichi reading the notification boxes or the quest contents, which are invisible to them, they would either think he was crazy, attention-seeking, or had some kind of special ability. None of which could be good for him. This way he could reduce the risk of someone finding out about his powers. This was his thought. He continued his walk to the library. He asked for directions a couple of times, and after 30 minutes he finally reached his destination. Chapter 10, Library and Ichiraku Ramen. After about half an hour of walking and asking for directions, Daichi finally reached his destination. A tall building stood in front of him. Beside its entrance doors stood the words Leaf Village Library. Based on the geography, the library is almost in the middle of this village. A public library accessible to all villagers. Just what I need right now. Alright. First thing to do is read up on history. Make sure there are no unexpected surprises. I'm not sure if there is a restricted section in this place. I'll just check out what's public. Making up his mind, Daichi went into the library. The moment he went inside, a notification appeared. You have found Leaf Village Library. Quest progression. April 7th. Dismissing the notification, he observed the place. The building had 3 floors with several shelves on each one. He could see several tables and chairs and saw a few people reading or taking notes. And at the front of the library there was an old lady sitting behind a desk reading a book, giggling to herself. Fujiko Kaya. Daichi couldn't get any information after using Observe on the woman, but he could make a few guesses. This woman looks like she's over 50 years old. I don't recognize her from the story, so she must not be that important, but judging from the fact that I can't see her level or information, she must be high or jonin. In hindsight, that should have been obvious. The village wouldn't keep someone weak in charge of their information. Although since this is public, I doubt I'd find anything dangerous or classified here. As the library had several sections dedicated to many subjects, Daichi decided to ask the librarian the location of the history books. She pointed to a shelf in the corner and resumed her reading. Daichi came upon a small shelf filled with books of various sizes. He looked at the titles of each book. After a minute, he took several books, went to a nearby table, and started reading. He found a book that depicted the founding of the village and the different clans that joined shortly after. Although there was some information that Daichi knew from his past life that was not included in the book, there was some that he didn't know. But they were mostly common knowledge and unimportant. Due to learning and understanding new information, you have obtained +1 INT. While reading the books, he got a stat point in intelligence. He read through several books as the hours passed by. From the First World War to the Third World War and to the Nine Tails attack. He also read about the several clans that reside in the village. After reading all the books he found interesting, he had an understanding of the time period he's in and a solid knowledge about the Leaf Village. There doesn't seem to be any major changes to the story. The story is the same as the one in the story. So everything is the same until now, but since I'm a wrinkle in the time, the changes should start to take place from this point forward. But I don't plan on doing anything big, so the timeline should stay relatively the same. Right now, my biggest advantage is my future knowledge. According to these books, the Leaf Village was formed around 70 years ago. And the Nine Tails attack was 5 years ago. Then, based on my memories, the Uchiha clan gets annihilated almost 3 years from now. And since I'm joining the academy next year, there's a chance I'm in Sasuke's year group. Unless I'm mistaken, Sasuke joined the academy 2 years before the massacre. The Uchiha massacre, huh? Should I tell someone? No. The events are already in motion. Nothing I do will change that. And if I do anything, it will only bring attention to me. Obito, Danzo, the Hokage, Itachi. All of them are dangerous. But the most dangerous one is Black Zetsu. He keeps an eye on everything. Definitely can't get on his radar. Not till I'm ready anyway. And even in the 1 million possibility that I somehow prevent the clan massacre, that will affect who Orochimaru will target. He most probably will go after Sasuke even if the clan were alive, since he's Itachi's brother, and has a lot of potential, but he will definitely switch targets if he can't get to him. Not to mention the ripple effects of the Uchiha clan being alive. Just thinking about all this gives me a headache. Daichi thought long and hard about the choices he's going to make and came to a hard decision. My first and most important priority should be my life and my survival. I'm not going to jeopardize that. It may seem selfish, but I already had one life taken away from me before it could truly begin. I won't let that happen again. I'm truly sorry, Sasuke. I'm not gonna do anything or say anything that puts me at risk. It seems the destruction of your clan is truly inevitable. Maybe one day I'll make this up to you. Now I understand where the phrase ignorance is bliss comes from. Having knowledge of the future is a blessing, but at the same time it's also a curse. Even though I'm in no way responsible for the horror that's going to happen, I still feel like shit for not doing anything. Daichi sighed to himself and shook his head slightly. I need to clear my head. He took a look at the clock. It's past noon. I've spent almost 5 hours here. Time to go. As he started sorting the books back in their places, he thought about what he should do next. Need to complete the quest, explore the village as soon as possible. And I need to start on that gardening quest too. I'm starting to feel a little hungry. I'll head to Ichiraku Ramen first. Have some of that delicious ramen. Then I'll head to the Hokage Rock and take in the view. My last stop will be the Yamanaka flower shop, and I'll buy the flower seeds and fertilizers. I can't waste time by blindly going in any direction. And asking people for directions will take a little longer than I want. I need a map. Daichi went to the librarian. She was reading a book and lightly giggling. Looking at the cover, Daichi could make out the name of the book. Ika. Of all the people I run into. Still. A woman of culture. Respect. Daichi mentally saluted. Hello, miss. The old lady looked up from her book. She had a small blush on her face. What is it? Do you have a map of the village you could sell me? Why do you need a map? She asked, more out of boredom and a slight curiosity. I want to visit Hokage Mountain and the Yamanaka flower shop. I also hear there's a tasty ramen stand somewhere. But I'll be wasting a lot of time trying to find the places if I don't have any idea of where I'm going. Daichi replied. So I need a map. Got one? She looked at Daichi for a few seconds and then nodded her head. She took out a map that showed the several important places of the village. There were several famous landmarks and buildings marked on the map. That will be 100 ryo. Handing out the money, Daichi took the map and left the library. There were several locations marked on the map. Location of clan compounds, famous landmarks, historical and important buildings, and famous shops. His first stop. Ichiraku Ramen. Looking at the map, he had a good idea of where he was, and following the directions marked in the map, it didn't take him too long to reach the place. In front of him stood a small, unassuming store, but it's one of the most iconic places in this world. At least in his perspective. You have found Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. Quest progression. May 7th. Ichiraku Ramen. I can't believe it. Daichi couldn't help but chuckle to himself at that. This is so surreal. Well timed to see just how tasty the ramen really is. He stood there on the road for a few seconds taking in the view and then slowly went inside. He took a seat and waited. He saw a couple of people eating ramen on the other side. A few seconds later, a man who looked to be in his mid-40s came from the kitchen and looked towards Daichi with a smile. Observe. LV.12 Tucci. Age 43. HP 1255. CP 287. Tucci is the owner of Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant and a ramen chef. He is a kind and jovial man who started making ramen in his early teenage years. He devoted his life to making great ramen and years later opened the Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. He has a daughter named Ayam. He has a slightly good impression of you. Hello, young man. Welcome to Ichiraku Ramen. My name is Tucci. What can I get you today? Hello, sir. My name is Daichi. I heard your ramen tastes delicious. So I'm really eager to try it out. Daichi said politely. Rep slightly increases with Tucci. Tucci beamed at the praise. He was happy whenever someone praised his ramen shop. I'll make sure not to disappoint you, young man. So what will you be having? Any preferences? Daichi already had an answer to that question. The first ramen he was going to try would definitely be that one. 1 bowl of miso ramen with pork, please. 1 bowl of miso ramen with pork coming up. Please wait. With that, Tucci went back to the kitchen to prepare the ramen. Daichi sat quietly thinking about his circumstances and got lost in his thoughts. Everything that was happening still felt almost impossible to him. After about 15 minutes, Tucci returned with a bowl of ramen in his hands. He placed it in front of the young boy. Here's your ramen. Enjoy. With that, he left. Observe. Miso ramen with pork. A delicious ramen dish made by Tucci. Miso ramen seasoned with miso paste. It has a nutty, umami-rich flavor that increases the taste of the soup base. The broth is made from pork bones, several vegetables and seasonings. This ramen has 6 slices of perfectly cooked pork belly, 1 boiled egg, noodles, and additional toppings like green onions, Naruto, fish cake, and menma, preserved bamboo shoots. 1 bowl of ramen restores 11 HP and 4 CP. Skill observe level has risen by 1. Daichi dismissed the notification and was admiring the food. This looks absolutely delicious. Smells really great too. Thank you for the meal. Picking up the chopsticks, Daichi slowly started eating the ramen. I can understand why Naruto would come here every chance he gets. This is really tasty. So how does it taste? Tucci asked with a knowing smile. Daichi swallowed and answered, absolutely wonderful. The guy who said your ramen tastes good was underselling. This is really delicious. Daichi praised the old chef. Rep increases with Tucci. Glad you like it. With that, Tucci went back to the kitchen with a happy smile. And Daichi resumed his eating. He slowly ate the noodles and pork and savored the broth. He wanted to enjoy the first ramen he had at this place. After about 20 minutes he was done. He chatted with Tucci about the various ramen dishes he served. Then paid the bill and left the place with a promise to come back and try each one. I'm so happy right now. Daichi had a silly smile on his face as he slowly walked. All right. Now that I'm full, the next stop, Hokage Mountain. Daichi took out the map from his bag and looked at the fastest route to the Hokage Mountain. As he was carefully looking at the map, a blue box appeared in front of him. You have acquired a map and successfully reached one of the destinations marked on the map. Conditions for activating minimap reached. Future maps and locations visited will automatically be added to minimap. As Daichi looked over and dismissed the box, a holographic round map appeared on the right bottom side of his vision. He was marked as a green dot, and based on his movements and change in directions, the map would adjust its position. Every other person on the map was marked white. Daichi had a small rush of information coming to his mind. He had now memorized every route and location on the map. After the information flow subsided, a smile came to his face, and a single thought ran through his mind. I really do love the gamer ability. With the standard map of the Leaf Village memorized and Daichi's location and directions showing in real time as a holographic map, reaching the Hokage Mountain was easy. As he reached the base of the mountain, he could see the academy building. It was the place where Daichi would be learning about being a shinobi starting next year. As he neared the building, several blue notification boxes appeared. You have found the academy. Quest progression, 6 to 7. You have found the Hokage monument. Quest progression, 7 out of 7. Quest scout out the village. Completed. Rewards: 1150 EXP. Rep increases with Leaf Village citizens. New title, Explorer. This title gives the ability to locate hidden dungeons and dungeons keys. Increases chances of finding various hidden locations by 35%. Yes. I thought I would have to go to the Yamanaka flower shop to complete the quest, but I'm not going to complain if my tasks get easier. Since the academy is a special location, just finding the place must have been enough for the quest to progress. Daichi could see the stairs that lead to the top of the Hokage monument. Since I'm here, I might as well go to the top and take a look. He slowly climbed the stairs. Since it was somewhat of a long trip, by the time he reached the top he got a small increase in one of his stats. Due to the continued physical training, you have obtained +1 VIT. He stood on top of the first Hokage head, took off his exotic sunglasses and looked at the village. What he saw took his breath away. A giant, magnificent village perfectly blended with nature was staring back at him. Only now did he understand how truly big the village was. Kishi-san created something truly beautiful. And it became a reality. Daichi was mesmerized by the sight. He could see the giant wall surrounding the village, giving it a sense of security. He could see the different ninjas going about their way. The houses and shops of all shapes and sorts. The village that holds the title of the strongest and most prosperous among the Great Five. He suddenly realized he was standing atop where legends once stood. This is where the first Hokage Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha made history. Two children from opposite sides unexpectedly met and became friends. The loss of their loved ones forced them to break the chains of their clan ideology. They dreamed of a place where people could be safe and enjoy peace. And they became strong enough to make that dream a reality. They set their differences aside and together founded the Hidden Leaf Village. For a short time they found the peace they so desperately searched for. The first trained the third, and the disciple of the third trained the fourth. Some mistakes were made along the way by all the 4 Hokages. But whatever they did in the belief that it would protect their home. Even Madara, for all his faults and arrogance, all he wanted was to protect his clan. Even the current plan he's put in place, no matter how foolish, misguided or cruel, is in the notion that it would bring peace to the world. Daichi stood there looking over the village in a daze. His mind flashed through all the memories he had of this place as Daichi and as Thomas. Of living in this village and interacting with the people in it, and reading about an amazing story and the sacrifices the characters in it made. He thought about the 11 clan kids currently living a carefree life but would one day stand strong to defend the village and the world against the coming threats. And most of all, the blue-eyed protagonist who, despite all the hate and suffering he endured, became the protector of not only the village but this entire world. Without even realizing it, a few small tears dropped from the corner of his eyes. A small smile came to his face as he closed his eyes. I was arrogant. I'd been given a second chance and an ability that would help me become strong. But that made me arrogant. I felt like I was the center of the universe, but I have to remember that I'm not. Not only that, on some small level I still regarded the people here as characters from a comic book. I didn't take them as seriously as I should. This place, the people living in it, this entire world, they are real. Just as real as I am. This is my story and I'll do my best to stand at the top, but I should remind myself that I'm not the only one living in this world. This is their story too. Once Daichi opened his eyes, he slowly let out a breath. His mind became clear and refreshed. The arrogance that he didn't even know existed inside him vanished. A new notification box appeared in front of him. Due to having a brief enlightenment, you have obtained +1 WIS. Are you alright, young one? At that moment Daichi heard someone behind him, and he was slightly startled. When he turned around, his eyes widened as he stared at the man. For in front of him stood one of the most important and influential people in the world. Third Hokage. His voice barely above a whisper but was heard by the two. A few minutes ago. The Hokage's office. The third Hokage, Harrosen Sarutobi, was looking over the reports of several Genin and Chunin teams currently active. In his hands held the file of one of his talented ninjas, Iraka Yumino. He read the history of the young teenager, his capabilities, progress, and his skills. It always filled his heart with pride to see the young stand on their own feet and prosper. He imagined the day when he too would hand over the hat to someone capable and strong once more. After reading over everything a second time, he placed the file down and took the next one. The next folder he took was a thick one. When he opened it, his heart became heavy. The photo of a stoic boy who hasn't even become a teenager was on it. It seems Fugaku is serious about pushing his son into becoming a Chunin as soon as possible. He looked at the somewhat thick file of Itachi Uchiha. The request for entering Itachi into the Chunin exams was in front of him. The relationship between the village and the Uchiha clan has not been good. Not since the attack. They have been one of the backbones of this village since its founding, and yet things have turned out like this. I have to mend the hate between the clan and the people of the village. Before it's too late. Or I fear for what's to come. He stood from his chair and walked to the window of his office. Looking out, he couldn't help but sigh sadly. Minato. Why did you have to leave so soon? He thought about the missions the young Uchiha has completed since becoming a genin. He is a talented child. He had the ability to graduate in less than a year. A genius beyond measure. But just because a child is capable and able to graduate early, does that mean they should? All the violence, ugliness, and cruelty of this world. Itachi graduated in a single year and became a ninja from an early age. He had to watch his teammates die on the mission, and he was forced to take lives. What does it do to someone like him? What would he turn into? His thoughts brought to mind the face of another genius. One he personally nurtured and loved and became one of his greatest regrets. He sighed again. I'm getting too tired for this. I need to get some fresh air. I'll take a walk. Maybe visit Naruto and see how he's doing. He slightly flared his chakra in a particular pattern. A ninja wearing a mask with the pattern of a bull appeared kneeling. I'll be heading out for a while. Reschedule the remaining appointments I have today for tomorrow. Yes, Lord Hokage. Came the reply. Harrosen Sarutobi walked out of the office and slowly walked out of the building. The people who saw him greeted him with smiles. And the ninjas bowed in respect. He stood near the entrance of the Ninja Academy and looked ahead, lost in thought. A new batch of students is going to join the academy soon. I need to make a decision regarding the graduation age soon. His mind raced about all the things he had to do. He looked up to the first two faces on the mountain. He looked at the second face. Tobirama-sensei. I have an idea as to what your response would be to the Uchiha situation. But, Hashirama-sensei. He looked at the face of the first. I wonder. How would you solve this problem? Without even realizing it, his feet took him to the top of the mountain. As he stood there, he saw a young boy no older than 5 or 6 years old in his estimation standing on top of the first Hokage's head and looking a little melancholic. The Hokage could feel the agitation of his tiny chakra reserves. A civilian child who has yet to learn to consciously use his chakra. He saw a few tears rolling down the cheek and the child closing his eyes. He was about to go over to console the young child, but in just a few moments Harrosen could feel the chakra that was agitated a few seconds ago become calm. He was astonished. A young child with this much control over his emotions. I have only seen a rare few. When he saw the child open his eyes, he was once again shocked. He could see the wisdom of someone beyond their age in those eyes. His curiosity got the best of him. He had to know who this child was. He went near the boy and asked, "Are you alright, young one?" He was slightly amused to see the startled reaction of the child. The boy turned around, and when the child saw him, his eyes widened in surprise, and the Hokage could see recognition in those eyes. "Third Hokage." The boy spoke in a small voice. Chapter 12, Harrosen and Dai. Daichi quickly calmed down. "Thank you, gamer's mind." He immediately bowed and respectfully greeted the Hokage. "It is an honor to meet you, Lord Third Hokage." He straightened and looked at the old Kage. "Observe. Hiruzen Sarutobi, Hokage." Daichi wasn't surprised his observation didn't reveal anything. The third Hokage holds the title God of Shinobi, the Professor, and more. A powerful Kage even in his old age. Need to be careful with what I say. All of these thoughts flashed by in an instant. Hiruzen chucked. My. What a polite child. He had a gentle expression on his face. "Are you alright, young one? Why were you crying?" Daichi was surprised to hear the question. Crying? He brought his hands to his cheeks. He could feel the remnants of tears on his fingers. He didn't even realize it. Hiruzen wanted to know what would make a young child feel such a strong emotion. "It's nothing, Lord Hokage. I was just thinking about some things," Daichi replied, not wanting to give away anything. "I need to be cautious." That must have been some pretty deep thoughts. Hiruzen walked forward and stood next to him. Both of them looked at the village. "What do you see?" he asked after a few seconds of silence. Although the question was simple, Daichi knew it was anything but. He was quiet for a few seconds and gathered his thoughts. He could give the normal answer. The one expected of a child his age. Suddenly an idea came to his mind. A crazy, wild idea that if it worked would help him immensely. After a few seconds of contemplation, he made a choice. He was going to take a giant gamble. If it succeeded, it would help him through the years to come. If it didn't, he didn't even want to think about that. With steely resolve in his choice, he replied in 4 words. Peace, harmony, and sacrifice. Definitely not an ordinary child. Tell me more. What do those words mean to you? The aging leader was curious about the mentality of the child near him. Hearing the question, Daichi slowly took a breath and after a moment let it out. He wanted to be absolutely sure and careful of the words he was going to say. I read about some of the history of the time before the founding of the village. The warring era. A time when everyone fought each other with no mercy. Anyone who wasn't one of them was considered an enemy and would be killed. Even children. Daichi paused for a moment and continued. But all of that changed when the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan put aside their differences and joined together to form the village. A safe place where their descendants could grow up without fear of death. A place where people could call home and their children could grow up happily. The world followed their example and peace was achieved. Taking a short pause, Daichi continued. Then when several clans all over the land, who wanted to experience that peace, joined the village, and each clan worked together with the singular goal of protecting the village, it brought harmony. The Hokage turned to look at the child. His face gave away nothing as he listened. And finally, sacrifice. The ninjas give their lives in battle to preserve the peace and safety of the village. Like the first, second, and fourth Kages did. Daichi turned to look at the Kage. That is what I see when I look at the village. Hiruzen was expressionless as he listened to Daichi's words. He was scrutinizing the boy's chakra throughout the conversation. He couldn't detect a single chakra fluctuation that indicated the child was lying. Otherwise, he would have thought the boy was just saying these words to gain his favor or trying to manipulate him using his ideology. But when Daichi looked him in the eyes, he was sure of it. This child. He's not lying. And moreover, he understands and embodies the philosophies of the first. Rep massively increased with Hiruzen Sarutobi. Rep increased with Genmai Shirani. Rep increased with Rado Namishi. Rep increased with Iwashi Tadame. Due to making a clever and calculated decision, you have obtained +1 WIS. Daichi didn't even look at the notifications that appeared. He looked straight at the Hokage with a serene expression. When Hiruzen asked the question earlier, he didn't expect a childish reply, but he also didn't think he would get such a profound answer from the child. He was shocked. It feels like I'm looking at a young Itachi all over again. Ha 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 ha. For the first time in a long time, Hiruzen let out a hearty laugh. Daichi was a bit flabbergasted as he looked at the laughing old man. Lord Hokage. He didn't get an answer. Hiruzen had a grin on his face as he stopped laughing. What is your name? Daichi Hekima. What do you want to be in the future? At this question, Daichi grew a grin that matched the Kage. I'm gonna be a ninja. Are you joining this year? Harrosen asked. No. Next year, was the reply. Both of them had a smile and turned to look towards the village. Both of them standing in comfortable silence, thinking about the conversation. The first Hokage was someone who thought the same. It was his philosophy. Peace through cooperation. It was a lesson he passed down to me, to his clan and to the village. Harrosen didn't say anything more. At that moment he made an important decision regarding the future of the village. Itachi had a kind, innocent and gentle heart, but this world took that from him before he could even reach puberty. I won't let that happen again. As Daichi looked on, he suddenly remembered the things he had to do and buy, and the simple quest he had to complete. Lord Hokage, I promised my grandfather I would get home soon. May I be excused? Harrosen smiled. Yes. Get home safely, Daichi. He watched Daichi leave with a smile on his face. Genma, he called out. A shinobi wearing the standard Jonin uniform appeared behind him. He was one of the Hokage guards tasked with watching and protecting him all day. What do you make of him? The old man asked, wanting to know his shinobi's impression of the boy. He is unusual. Based on his chakra, he's definitely a civilian. But his control over his emotions is better than the average adult who doesn't have any training. But I couldn't detect any deception in his words. And he doesn't speak like a child his age. It's the way he spoke about the topic. To me it felt as if I was listening to an adult. Genma took a pause and then continued. And it seems he can understand complex concepts that would baffle even some. There is a great possibility he could be a genius. But it would depend on his performance in the academy to determine that. Harrosen nodded to the assessment. Find out everything you can about the boy. I want that information within 24 hours. Yes, sir. With those words, Genma vanished. If the next generation is anything like him, then when the time comes for me to depart this world, I'll be happy knowing that the village will be in good hands. I'll go see Naruto and take him out for some ramen. With that, the Hokage started making his way to Naruto's home. Daichi got down the steps and reached the base of the mountain. He took a look back at the mountain faces, put on his sunglasses, and then turned around and walked. His next destination was the Yamanaka flower store. His mind runs a mile a minute, going through every word and every instance of the conversation he just had with the most powerful person currently in the village. Daichi only now dismissed the several notifications that were in front of him. I can't believe it worked. I was able to gain his attention in a good way. Now when I join the academy, I won't have to hold back much. I won't show everything, but I'll definitely take the top spot every year by a good margin. And if any unsavory characters like Danzo comes after me, the Hokage would be more motivated than usual to shield me. After all, in his eyes I just became a promising talent that holds the values and ideals of him and his teachers. He mistook my mental maturity for genius talent. The same mistake Kensei made. One of the many perks of having a child body, I suppose. People rarely take you as a threat. Daichi was cunning. Every move he made, every word he spoke, since the instant he recognized the Kage, was careful and calculated. The WIS stat increase proved it to him. Daichi knew the old Kage had a kind heart and a soft spot for children, so he used that information to his advantage. After that conversation, he will be more than curious. He'll definitely send someone to investigate me. Probably one of the guards following him. I wasn't expecting the Hokage's platoon to be there, but it's alright. They'll start with the orphanage and Aiko. But I don't think there will be a problem. Based on the memories I have of before my awakening, I was still smart. Maybe not genius level. But I definitely learned things at a much faster rate than the other children. And Aiko has a good opinion of me. And since I only got adopted yesterday, I doubt they'd bother the old man. There is also a chance they'll trace my steps to the library. No. They definitely will do it. And they'll find the books I've read. Daichi thought about the gamble he just took and the reasons for doing it. If I didn't have the gamer's mind to keep my emotions in check, I don't think I could have pulled it off. And I wouldn't even have tried it. He's a censor shinobi, from what I can remember. And a good one at that. So I needed a calm mind to make this work, and I did tell him the truth. I just didn't tell him the whole truth. But nor did I lie to him. He walked the road looking all around him. The people. Both ninjas and civilians. He saw the smiles on their faces as they chatted with their friends, families, neighbors, teammates. He looked at the team of genin that passed him by. Every word I said was what I truly believed about the village. But the last part. Sacrifice. I know the ninjas of this village are willing to give their lives to protect this place. Well, most of them anyway. But that's not the case for me. I'm not going to sacrifice my life for this village. But I couldn't tell him that. He just assumed it would be something I would definitely do based on my words. This is my second chance. I want to be a little selfish. Is that so wrong? I want to live a long life. Enjoy everything this world has to offer. There is a good chance that when I'm strong enough and dealt with the coming threats, I'll leave this village and travel the world. But until that day comes, I'll need as much protection as I can get. What I did, it was necessary. But I hope this won't have any negative consequences in the future. There was one more reason he made this move. But he wasn't sure if it would work. No longer thinking about the matter, Daichi kept walking. He wanted to see his progress and see how far he'd come. He opened his status and skill page. Name: Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class: Civilian. Age: 5. Title: Capable Child, Explorer. Level: 4, 1300/1325. HP: 355. CP: 230. SP: 210. Primary stats: Strength 10. Vitality 8. Dexterity 5. Agility 10. Intelligence 11. Chakra 3. Wisdom 11. Special stats: Sense locked. Stamina 3. Indomitable locked. Charisma locked. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Note: unlocking special stats requires certain actions or reaching specific conditions. Different stats are unlocked with different methods. Stat points cannot be allocated to these stats. Stat points: 30. Real 1300. Skills: 1. Gamer's Mind passive. Gamer's Mind is one of the skills granted to the user by the system. It allows the user to calmly and logically think things through. Allows a peaceful state of mind. And this skill provides immunity to mental disorders. Gamer's Mind is a skill that's already obtained and maxed. 2. Gamer's Body passive. Gamer's Body is one of the skills granted to the player by the system. While this skill grants a body that allows the user to live the real world like a game, it has certain limitations. Cuts and bruises will be healed based on the physical stats of the user. The user receives minimal to no physical damage from blunt force attacks, only pain for a few seconds, and a loss of HP. But piercing and stabbing attacks will have a limited effect on the gamer's body. Sleeping in a bed restores HP, CP/SP. Gamer's Body is a passive skill that is already obtained and maxed. 3. Gaia's Blessing passive. The great god Gaia has blessed you and bestowed on you a special ability. Gaia's blessing will ensure that you will always be strong and healthy in your lifetime. Temporary effect: gives the soul a new healthy body. Permanent effect: all diseases, poisons, and negative status effects are healed. Sleeping increases regeneration. Sleeping in a bed increases regeneration several-fold. 4. Observe active, LV.10, 21%, a skill to find the target's information. Observe was obtained through continuous observation. Higher level of the skill reveals more information about the target. 5. Dishwashing passive, LV.1, a skill obtained through continuous dishwashing. With more mastery, you can clean any dirty spots with more speed. Effects: plus 5% increase in speed. 6. Meditate active, LV. 3, 66%, a skill obtained through continuously focusing on breathing and avoiding distractions. Helps the user enter a calm meditative state. Increases the regeneration of the body. Effects: plus 4% to HP regeneration per minute. Plus 4% to CP regeneration per minute. Plus 4% to SP regeneration per minute. 7. Basic Body Conditioning passive, LV. 2, 79%. This skill gives the user's body an increase in strength, speed, vitality, and stamina through training. Effects: plus 2% to damage inflicted. Plus 2% to movement speed. Plus 2% to physical stat growth. Percentage to damage taken. 8. Minimap shows your location at all times. Future maps and locations visited will be automatically added to Minimap. 9. Inventory. The inventory is a storage dimensional ability. Only you, the player, has access to it. The inventory window shows all the items you have stored in it, including the clothes and weapons you've equipped. You can directly equip armor, weapons, or clothes from inventory to your body. The change is instantaneous. After reading everything, he closed the panels and kept on walking. Daichi didn't know it at the time, but one of the 3 guards took an interest in him. He was looking forward to seeing how Daichi would perform in the academy, and he would one day become one of Daichi's 2 Jonin instructors. But that is a story long into the future. Chapter 13: Yamanaka Flowers. Leaf Village Streets. As Daichi was walking down the road, he took out the horticulture guidebook he bought earlier. He started going through the book. It not only had instructions on how to grow and maintain a healthy garden, but also information on several kinds of flowers, how to grow them, their uses, and what they represent. Since this was his first personal project, he wanted to make this memorable. He wanted to start from scratch. Daichi was planning on buying the seeds of a few plants and growing them, and then expanding. Daichi remembers seeing the remnants of the flower lilies in the garden. He decided that would be one of the flowers he would buy. As he looked through the different flora that are native to this land, 2 caught his attention. The first plant was daffodil, the flower that symbolizes rebirth and new beginning. Daichi felt that this flower perfectly represented him. Someone who was reborn and was given a new beginning. The second one that caught his attention was agrimony, the flowering plant that belongs in the family of roses. This flower represents gratitude and thankfulness. A flower, the young boy decided, would be dedicated to the old man. By the time he was done skimming through the book, he had reached the shop. He entered and looked around. There were a few women buying flower bouquets from the counter at the time, and a couple others who were admiring the displays and having a debate on which one to buy. Daichi took a moment to look around the store. On his right side there were potted plants of all shapes and sizes. Flowers of all decorative nature were displayed in an orderly fashion. To his left he saw a glass shelf, and in it several flowers of various attractive colors were arranged. The glass shelf must be for temperature control, Daichi deduced. He then looked towards the front. He wasn't all that surprised to see that the man in charge of the counter was Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the Yamanaka clan and father of Ino. After the women at the counter left, Daichi walked forward towards the man. Inoichi Yamanaka. Observe skill revealed nothing. This is starting to get irritating. I need to get to at least level 25 soon. Then I'll be able to see the information on someone up to level 70. Daichi was a little frustrated with the constant lack of information he was recently shown. But he didn't show any of that expression on his face. Hello, little man. Welcome to Yamanaka Flowers. How can I help you? Inoichi was a little surprised to see the kid, as young children often don't come to buy flowers alone. But regardless, he was polite since he would be a customer, and greeted the child. Daichi slightly bowed and then straightened. Hello, sir. I would like to buy seeds for 3 flowering plants and some fertilizers. Oh. Have you decided on which ones you want? Yes. Lilies, daffodils, and agrimony? I think we have some seeds for those. Let me check. With those words, Inoichi went through the several boxes on the shelf and after a couple of minutes found what he was looking for. He also took a small bag of fertilizers and brought it to the counter. Here they are. That will be 500 ryo. Daichi paid the money and took the seed packets and placed them in his backpack. He took the fertilizer bag and thanked the clan head and left the store. At the same time, in Aiko's orphanage. Hello, Miss Aiko. It's been a long time. How have you been? Genma asked the orphanage matron. They were in Aiko's office catching up. Aiko had, on a few occasions, healed Genma when she was working as a medic for the village. So they had some familiarity with each other. I have been well, Genma. It's been a long time. If memory serves me right, the last time I saw you was when you were just starting out as a, wasn't it? Now look at you. All grown up and a jonin. How cute. Aiko smiled lightly, teasing him. Gemma had a smile and a slight, almost imperceptible blush on his face. When he was young, he had a small crush on Aiko. So when she mentioned his days, he couldn't help but become a little embarrassed. He scratched the back of his head and lightly laughed. So Genma, not that I mind, but what brings you here? Well, I'm actually looking for some information on a child that was recently here. Oh, and who might that be? Aiko was curious. His name is Daichi Hekima. Records at the archive show he was assigned to this orphanage. So if you could show me the file, I'd really appreciate it. Gemma had a polite tone and smile on his face the entire time. Aiko too had a smile on her face, but she was cautious inside. Even though he phrased it as a request, she knew it definitely wasn't. She knew that if Ginma was personally interested in Daichi, he wouldn't ask for the boy's file like this, as there were some restrictions and procedures to follow before seeing them. But since he asked so directly, this must be for the Hokage. But why would he need Daichi's files? He was only gone 2 days ago. What did he do that caught Lord Hokage's attention? She deduced. Hold on, I'll get them for you. She stood from her chair and walked to the filing cabinet. Opening, and after looking through some folders, she found the one that was marked with Daichi's name. She took it out and handed it to Ginma. Here it is. Can I ask? Is he alright? Is there any trouble or something? Aiko was concerned. Daichi was one of her favorite children. No. Nothing like that. I just wanted to check his background information and learn a bit about him. Nothing more than curiosity. Jonan said nothing more as he started reading the file. He went through the few pages quickly. After about 5 minutes, he asked, Can I take this with me? Sure. Aiko nodded. Do you need anything else? Yes. What can you tell me about him? He asked. What do you want to know? Ginma now had a slightly serious expression. Everything. After exiting the flower shop, Daichi went to a pet store to get a mouse, and then to a general shop to buy various miscellaneous items. He wanted to test the capabilities of his inventory ability. Once he got everything he wanted, he headed straight to home. It was only 4 in the afternoon, but Daichi didn't want to delay any longer. He wanted to reach home and conduct his tests, and start on his pending quests as soon as possible. He took out the horticulture guidebook and started reading up on the proper ways to plant and germinate the seeds he bought. Within half an hour, he reached home. He closed his book and put it in his bag. He saw his grandpa standing at the front feeding a few birds in a nearby tree. Welcome home, Daichi. How was your day? He asked while a little bird was pecking food off his hand. It was interesting. I went to the library. Read up on a lot of stuff. Ate some delicious ramen. Bought a few things. Oh. And I also met the Hokage. Daichi said nonchalantly. When Kensei heard that, he was surprised. He didn't think the boy would meet the Hokage on his first trip alone through the village. He was curious, but he didn't ask what they talked about. What's with the sunglasses and fertilizers? The sunglasses because I thought they looked cool, and fertilizers because I wanted to grow that garden you showed me. Rep increases with Kensei Yasagi. Oh. Kensei said nothing else. When he was done feeding the birds, both of them entered their home. Quest don't be late completed. Rewards. Plus 115 EXP. Rep increases with Kensei Yasagi. You have leveled up. Yes. Finally, level 5. Let's see my status page. Status. Name Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class, civilian. Age 5. Title, capable child, explorer. Level 5, 90/1700. HP, 375. CP, 230. SP, 225. Primary stats. Strength 10. Vitality 8. Dexterity 5. Agility 10. Intelligence 11. Chakra 3. Wisdom 11. Special stats. Sense locked. Stamina 4. Indomitable locked. Charisma locked. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Note: unlocking special stats requires certain actions or reaching specific conditions. Different stats are unlocked with different methods. Stat points cannot be allocated to these stats. Stat points 35. Rio 400. So my wisdom and intelligence comes first, with strength second, and the weakest is chakra. I gotta get to work on that first thing tomorrow. Since level up increases special stats, I need to unlock those quickly. The sooner the better. But the problem is I don't have any concrete ideas on how to do that. Need to come up with some theories. 35 stat points, huh? Yeah. I'm definitely not spending any of that anytime soon. Unless I'm mistaken, stat points get harder and harder to increase with training the bigger they are. So I'll be saving my points for a rainy day. And considering the monsters that roam this world, I should be prepared for a flood. I'm getting low on cash. Hope quests or dungeon run rewards some cash. I'm gonna need some untraceable cash in case of an emergency. Got a lot of things to do. Well, No one said it would be easy. Alright, Daichi. Just take it one step at a time. You can do this. Daichi went to his room to put away his things. He put the mice he bought in a cage and placed it near the table. Then he took the seed packets and fertilizer bag and went outside. He reached the garden that was overrun with weeds and insects. He started cleaning the place. After about 2 hours, he got rid of everything. And since he spent the 2 hours doing physical tasks, due to the continued physical labor, you have obtained +1 VIT. He got a stat increase in vitality. Daichi was quite happy with his progress. He then fertilized the soil and planted the seeds. After watering the ground, he suddenly got a new notification. Quest Take Care of the Garden is now ongoing. Rewards would be distributed at the end of the week. This quest will expire after 6 years. Since he got a 1-point increase in his vitality stat, Daichi wanted to see what it would do. Status. He opened his status page. Name: Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class: Civilian. Age: 5. Title: Capable Child, Explorer. Level 5, 90/1700. HP: 390. CP: 230. SP: 235. Primary stats: Strength 10. Vitality 9. Dexterity 5. Agility 10. Intelligence 11. Chakra 3. Wisdom 11. Special stats: Sense locked. Stamina 4. Indomitable locked. Charisma locked. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Stat points 35. Rio 400. The last time I checked this, my HP was 375 and SP was 225. But now with 1 vitality point, my HP and SP increased to 390 and 235. So each vitality point gives 15 health points and 10 stamina points. Not bad. I need to figure out just how much the rest of the stats give, and exactly how the HP, CP, SP are calculated. By the time he was done with all the work, the sun had set and night began. Daichi went to his room and got cleaned up and went downstairs. His grandfather had set the food on the table. Both of them ate and talked about various topics. When they were done, Daichi took the dishes and cleaned them. Skill: dishwashing's level has risen by 1. Happy with another skill increase, Daichi went to his grandpa. Can I take a look at some of the books from your library tomorrow? He asked. What sort of books are you looking for? Books on chakra. I want to understand and unlock my chakra, Daichi said. Come with me. With those words, Kensei went to his library. There were numerous books and scrolls with various titles and markings. Kensei went to a particular shelf and took out a few books. These are books on chakra theory and control, hand seals, and the anatomy of the human body. These 3 will do for now. Study them thoroughly. Once you're done with them, place them back here. I will see your progress at the end of the month. With that, Kensei gave Daichi 3 books. Since it was getting late, they both retired to their rooms. Daichi set the newly bought alarm clock to 6 a.m. He was excited about tomorrow. Chapter 14: Inventory Skill and Chakra Unlocking. Ring. The sound of an alarm clock rang throughout the room. Daichi opened his eyes. It was his 3rd day waking up in this world. He got up, turned off the alarm, and got ready for the day. He went downstairs to meet his grandpa. He had his breakfast and went back to his room. There were 2 main things he had to do today: testing the abilities of his inventory skill and chakra unlocking. He took out all the things he bought yesterday. There were several pens of the same shape and size and a couple others that were different. 2 stopwatch timers of the same build. The book on horticulture and cooking, along with the several pairs of dresses he bought with his grandfather the first day. Finally, he took out the small cage with the white mouse in it. Okay. Time to see just what my inventory can do. Inventory, he called out lightly. A small window with dozens of empty boxes appeared. The first test. He wanted to see if time moved differently in the inventory space. So he set the 2 stopwatch timers and stored one in his inventory while he set the other in front of him. It will take some time to see the results, so he proceeded with the next test. He put 5 pens of the same color and shape, all from the same maker, into the inventory. He saw that only 1 box was taken and saw a multiplier of 5 marked underneath the box. He then stored the remaining pens, but since they were different colors and built, they took up another 2 boxes. So even though they were the same items, pens, since they were different, they took up different spaces. Probably the same for books and other stuff like scrolls or weapons. I also should have several sets of clothes set and stored. For battle, camouflage, stealth, training, and more. Daichi then stored the books on horticulture and cooking in his inventory. Just as he suspected, they took up 2 boxes. Daichi was thoroughly testing the inventory skill because he only had 35 slots. He needed to know if the slots would increase with each level up. He wanted to make sure he had some slots free in case he needed to store something unexpectedly, while at the same time he had all the necessary items he would need. Now time for his final and most important test. To see if his skill can hold anything living. He took the small mouse from the cage and tried to place it in his inventory slot. A red notification appeared. Warning. Action denied. Cannot store living creatures. Only exceptions are during special conditions. He put the mouse back in the cage and read through the message again. So under special circumstances I can store living beings. Need to look into that later. For his final test he put 2 sets of clothes in 2 slots. Equip. His current outfit changed to the one he imagined instantly. And then he thought about taking the pen and it appeared in his right hand. When he thought about his inventory he could see a subspace with all the stored items. It seems he could directly equip clothes and other items from his inventory. It seems I will be able to equip weapons and armor in an instant. A very useful ability indeed. Daichi went through various tests he deemed necessary and was happy with the outcomes. Around 30 minutes had passed. It was time to find out the results of the first test. He wanted to see if there was a time difference between the real world and inventory. He took the stopwatch out to see the time. He was shocked when he saw the time. It's the same time as when I stored it inside. Right down to the second. According to this, no time had passed from when I put it in the slot till I took it out. So time in that subspace is frozen. Daichi was very excited. A very powerful ability. I can store foods all freshly prepared and they will stay like that as long as it's inside. Looks like I won't have to worry about going hungry or thirsty if I ever end up in an unknown terrain. Daichi's test with the inventory came to an end. It was finally time for him to unlock his chakra and train in it. Kensei gave him 3 books yesterday. One on chakra control and theory, one that explains about hand seals and their purposes, and the last one showing the details of the human body. The reason Kensei gave the book on human anatomy was so he could figure out just how smart Daichi was and if he could even comprehend a small portion of such a vast subject. If he succeeded, then Kensei would make sure Daichi would learn some basic medical techniques too. But Daichi didn't know any of this. Daichi closed the door to his room. He had forgotten to exercise this morning because he wanted to be in the best shape when he unlocked his chakra. Daichi took the book on chakra theory and control. He already had an understanding of what chakra was, but that understanding came from his previous life. So he couldn't be sure what was doable and what wasn't. He was going to read the entire book to make sure he understood everything so he wouldn't mess up when he trained with his chakra. For the next several hours Daichi read through every sentence in the book, committing them to memory. Only after reading the book did he understand that he only had the bare minimum knowledge about chakra. He had gained a far more understanding of the energy he was going to use when he was done with the first book. The book contained several theories on chakra. How to control them, increase the chakra pool, and efficiently use them. It describes several control exercises for beginners. By the time he was done reading the book, he got several new notifications. Due to learning and understanding new information, you have obtained +3 INT. You have understood the basics of chakra and thus gained chakra manipulation. Would you like to learn this skill? Y/N. Not only did he get 3 INT stat points but also a new skill. He was very happy and accepted without hesitation. Chakra manipulation, active/passive, LV.1. This skill allows the user to manipulate their own chakra depending on their chakra proficiency. Daichi now understood how to unlock and use his chakra. He sat in a meditative pose and concentrated. He meditated for some time and then brought his hands to form the ram seal. He concentrated inwards for some time and suddenly he could feel it. In his belly he could feel a warm energy just waiting to be unleashed. Although it was a small amount. Daichi mentally commanded the chakra to move and he suddenly felt a rush of energy filling his entire body. He opened his eyes and looked at his hands as if seeing them for the first time. At that moment several new notification boxes appeared. You have actively used chakra for the first time. You have gained the skills Lesser Chakra Affinity and Lesser Chakra Regeneration. Note: increasing both of the above skills passively increases the level of chakra manipulation skill. Lesser Chakra Affinity Passive, LV.1. This skill slightly increases the user's talent and ability to use chakra more efficiently. Effects: plus 5% growth rate of chakra stat. Plus 5% strength increase to all chakra-based skills. Plus 5% defense increase against chakra-based attacks. Plus 10% increase to maximum CP. Percentage CP cost to all chakra-based skills. Lesser Chakra Regeneration Passive/Active, LV.1. The skill gives the user the ability to regenerate chakra at a slightly faster pace. Effects: regeneration increased by 5% of base CP per minute. Plus 5% growth rate of chakra stat. Note: meditation increases CP regeneration to 10%. Due to continued chakra training, you have obtained plus 1 CHK. Daichi started moving his chakra throughout his body. It was an arduous task given that he only just began, but he kept going. When his CP almost reached 0, his CHK increased again. Due to continued chakra training, you have obtained plus 1 CHK. He was going to wait for his chakra to regenerate at the normal rate so he could understand how long it took. He was going to read the other 2 books as he waited. He took the one on hand seals and began reading. As he read the book and understood new information. Due to learning and understanding new information, you have obtained plus 1 INT. His INT stat kept soaring. By the time he completely read the book, a new skill appeared. You have understood the basics of hand seals and thus have gained minor jutsu creation skill. Would you like to learn this skill? Y/N. Booyah! I'm so happy right now. Of course I want to learn it. Minor Jutsu Creation Active, LV.1. This skill increases the user's understanding, talent and ability to create new ninjutsu and genjutsu. When creating new effects, plus 3% success rate to create new ninjutsu. Plus 3% success rate to create new genjutsu. Percentage less CP requirements for new jutsu created. Oh man. I'm gonna abuse the hell out of this skill. Daichi was excited about his latest skill. He had seen many forms of powers and techniques in many stories in his last life. He wanted to recreate some of them when the time came. My CP is fully restored. Time to exercise my chakra. I want to feel it moving through every limb. Daichi sat down and focused. He started moving his chakra from his belly to his arms and then to his legs and back. His chakra was small in quantity, and since it was his first day of training, it was slow to reach the various parts of his body. But as time passed, his control over his chakra got better and better. Due to continued chakra training, you have obtained plus 1 CHK. Skill Lesser Chakra Affinities level has risen by 1. Skill Chakra Manipulations level has risen by 1. As he kept training, his skill and stats increased. Once his CP bar was below 20%, he rested and decided to take and finish the final book. The book on human anatomy. It was complicated, and even with his advantage, he didn't understand most of it at first. Daichi mainly focused on 2 things. 1. The chakra pathway system and ways that chakra interact with the organs. 2. The senses and how they function. He read the chapters again and again, and sometimes even took the first 2 books to clarify some doubts that formed. As he kept reading and understanding the anatomy, his INT stat was rapidly rising. Due to learning and understanding new information, you have obtained plus 3 INT. Skill Lesser Chakra Regenerations level has risen by 1. His INT stat had increased by 3 points by the time he stopped reading the book. And the regeneration skill level also increased. He wasn't even finished with 1/5 of the book, and yet he was able to increase his intelligence by such a wide margin. Learning new and advanced information is definitely the best way to improve INT stat. It will take me at least a couple weeks to truly understand and finish the entire book. I can't believe I'm looking forward to studying. He slightly chuckled to himself. Knock, knock, knock. There were several knocks on the door. Daichi, are you there? It was the sound of his grandfather. Coming. Daichi put the book on the table and opened the door. It's almost supper time, kiddo. Come on. You don't want to miss dinner like you did lunch. Kensei looked at him with an annoying smile. What? I spent the whole day here? Daichi was surprised. He didn't even notice the time passing. It was only then he looked at the window and noticed the sun was setting. Kensei smiled. He knew the kid would be busy reading the books and might get lost in it. He suspected as much when he didn't show up for lunch. Since Daichi was studying, he didn't want to disturb him as well. It was only then, when taking a closer look at Daichi, that Kensei noticed something peculiar. No way. His chakra level has increased. Definitely much greater than before. He had to know what happened. Daichi, did you do any chakra training today? Kensei asked in a neutral tone, not giving anything away. Daichi nodded. I read the 2 books on chakra theory and hand seals. I was able to unlock my chakra and move it around my body. But not by much. When Kensei heard this, he kept a neutral face and in a calm tone congratulated him. Well done. Now come on. Dinner is getting cold. Both of them went down to eat their food. Both of them, thinking about different things. Chapter 15. Harrosen's Thoughts and Kensei's Suspicion. Hokage Office. That evening, Ginma gave the Hokage a folder containing all the relevant information on Daichi Hekima, from his time of birth to now. Harrosen opened the file and flipped through the pages, quickly reading every line. Born on March 28, the same year as the attack. But it says here that's not his real birth date. It was assigned by Aiko Hikara when he was in the orphanage. Still, his 5th birthday was 2 days ago. Same day he got adopted. I see. The one who adopted him is. The Hokage was shocked when he read the name. Kensei Yasaji? Kensei. Why would he adopt a child now? Looking at Daichi's photo again, another face came to his mind. I see. The boy's resemblance to Kensei's late son is amazing. No wonder he adopted him. The Hokage read through the file, then asked for Ginma's personal report. Tell me what you found out. As you know, during the attack 5 years ago there were many children that became orphans. A dark day. Harrosen sadly sighed. It was also the day he lost his beloved wife, his successor, and many other shinobi and villagers. Daichi was one of them. During the 2nd day of rescue operations after the attack, I found a child buried beneath a lot of rubble and concrete. The child didn't look like he was breathing, but when they took him in her arms he suddenly started crying. They called it a miracle that he survived. Gemma said. Who rescued the boy was Aiko, wasn't it? Harrosen asked, even though he knew. Ginma nodded. He continued. She retired shortly before the attack, and after the incident she quickly got to building her orphanage. She's the one who gave him his name. And since some of the record sections were destroyed in the attack and he looked about 6 months old, she gave him his name and marked March 28th as his birthday. Daichi. Meaning from the earth and wisdom. A fitting name indeed. Harrosen mused. He has exceptional learning capabilities. Miss Aiko said he learned at a much faster rate than the other children. Based on what she said, his interests lay in books and knowledge. A polite, smart child who hasn't caused any problems other than the occasional small harmless pranks on his friends. That's her impression of the boy. And during his stay in the orphanage the only times he left its premises was with Miss Aiko to buy groceries or other such items, and that too on a handful of occasions. Harrosen nodded and motioned to continue. 2 days ago he was adopted by Kensei Yasaji, a retired jonin. Miss Aiko said that Kensei thought Daichi might be his grandson, so she ran a blood test. It turned out to be false. But he still decided to go through with the adoption. That's because Daichi has a strong resemblance to Kensei's late son. During their later years both him and his son became estranged. Perhaps he wanted to make up for that and felt adopting Daichi would accomplish it. That's probably why. Harrosen added. Harrosen then thought about the strained relation he currently had with his son. Obawako. I wish you were here. You would know how to solve this. Continue. The old Kage motioned with his head. Yesterday morning Daichi left his new home and went to several places in the village. I retraced his steps and found he went to a bookstore first. He bought books on gardening and cooking. Then he headed to the Leaf Public Library. Now Harrosen got interested. He wanted to know what books Daichi read there. I was able to find the books he took. He spent almost 5 hours reading through the founding of the village, the various clans, and books on the Warring Era period. Genma stopped. So a child no older than 5 really did comprehend the bloody history, the birth and significance of the village, and the importance of its existence on his own. Unbelievable. The Hokage's mind replayed the meeting with the small boy, and his words still resounded in his ears. Go on, he said. He bought a map and then went straight to Ichiraku Ramen and then to the Hokage monument. After that, he went to the Yamanaka flowers to buy some seeds and fertilizers. Most probably for his garden. So that's why he bought the gardening book. And since he bought a cookbook, he would most probably try to learn cooking as well. Then he went to buy some common everyday items from the nearby shops and went home. Gunma concluded his report. Harrosen nodded and dismissed Gunma. Why am I thinking so much about one child who hasn't even been to the academy? He sighed. Although Harrosen asked himself this question, he knew the answer. It was because this boy reminded him of Itachi, Minato, and also Orochimaru. He didn't want to see another child with great potential lead a life with heavy burdens or be taken before his time or worse. Go down the wrong path and become the enemy. The third Hokage made a decision. Hawk. Assemble the council along with the clan heads for a meeting. Immediately. The shadow of an umbu disappeared from Harrosen's periphery. Harrosen made some important choices, and chief among them was the change in the age of the academy graduation. Kensei's house during dinner. Both Kensei and Daichi were at the opposite ends of the table and slowly eating their food. Both thinking about various things. Although on the outside Kensei was calm, on the inside he was astonished. Never in his life did he meet a kid that on his own, without any outside guidance, learned to use his chakra. That too on his first day. He was able to understand the theory and how to apply it. His intelligence and growth rate is unprecedented. And not only that, it's not just the fact that he learned to use chakra, but that it has increased. A small marginal increase, but still a noticeable one nonetheless. Now that I think about it, this isn't the first time something like this happened. During the first day of training I noticed a small increase in his reserves. But I thought it was my mind playing tricks on me. Now I'm sure. His body is somehow able to increase his reserves at a much faster rate than the normal person. This kid's body is definitely abnormal. But this could also be a great advantage. And with his intelligence he could reach heights even beyond my expectations. And when it comes to talents, is it possible? Could this child be in the same league as the fourth Hokage? Kensei closed his eyes and thought about the achievements of the late fourth Hokage. I suppose only time will tell. Then a small smile came to his face. If this is his improvement in the first 3 days, I can't wait to see how much he will improve by the end of the month. I thought I had come up with an adequate training schedule for the next 11 months, but it seems I'll have to revise those plans. Impress me, boy. Show me just how much potential you have. Kensei ate calmly but mentally cheered Daichi on. At this time Daichi was thinking about making a training plan for the month. He wanted to improve his skills and learn some chakra control exercises as well as increasing his chakra volume. Since he just got a skill that would help him with creating justice, increasing his reserves would definitely be a priority. Suddenly, rep increases with Kensei Usagi. Daichi was a little surprised. He wasn't sure what impressed the old man, but he would take it. I need to learn the leaf concentration technique tomorrow and increase its level. I also have to focus on my body's stats and improve my body conditioning skill. And I need to figure out how to unlock the special stats. The clue to unlocking the stats are in their names. I've already unlocked one and put in motion the events that could unlock another. Or at least I hope it will work. If not, I'll have to save it for another time. That particular special stat isn't my priority right now. Chakra is like a muscle. As long as I use up my chakra and exhaust it by the time I go to bed, I'll increase the chakra stat and lesser chakra affinity skill. An increase in the skill is an increase in chakra growth rate. It will also force the passive regeneration skill to increase in level. Daichi quickly finished his meal and thought about how he would spend the next 4 weeks training. He took the dishes as usual and washed them, increasing the dishwashing skill level. He bid his grandfather good night and went upstairs to his room. He put on some sleepwear and got on his bed, planning his training schedule for the coming days. Out of nowhere, a red notification box appeared. You were able to successfully convince someone of much greater strength to make an important choice or a life-changing decision through your words or actions. You have reached the special condition needed to unlock Charisma stat. +1 Charisma. This stat improves the player's charm that can inspire devotion or loyalty in others and helps rally allies much easier. You have unlocked a special stat. Reward, +500 EXP. +75 EXP. Reading the system message, Daichi was shocked. It worked. I can't believe it worked. I was just trying out my luck. I didn't actually think it would work. Charisma. The ability to influence others through words or actions. At first I thought I would have to be like Naruto and make some loyal friends or something like that to awaken this stat. But when the Hokage came to talk to me, the idea to impress and maybe even slightly influence him suddenly came. It was a big risk, but looking at this result, worth it. Now, as for the remaining 5 lock stats, I have some ideas on how to unlock them. Need to put those ideas to work soon. Persistence and sense. Those are the next 2 I'm going to unlock. Now let me take a look at my stats. Name: Daichi Hekima, the gamer. Class: civilian. Age: 5. Title: Capable Child, Explorer. Level 5, 665/1700. HP: 405. CP: 319. SP: 250. Primary stats: Strength 10. Vitality 9. Dexterity 5. Agility 10. Intelligence 18. Chakra 6. Wisdom 11. Special stats: Sense locked. Stamina 4. Indomitable locked. Charisma 1. Persistence locked. Dignity locked. Luck locked. Stat points 35. Rio 400. Not bad for a few days of work. But increasing stats will get more difficult the higher they go. So I'm not going to invest my points in any unless absolutely necessary. Training is the best way to improve them. Time to get some sleep. Gotta really push myself starting tomorrow. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. And also check out the others videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.